And coming to you live from Arnold Anderson Stadium in lovely Brantford, Ontario, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the IBL coverage of your Brantford Red Sox as they take on the visiting Kitchener Panthers. And the closest we'll have to a Canada Day this week. Special jerseys today, special festivities, and it is well worth it because today's game is high stakes for the teams involved. When you're at the bottom of the standings in a league with 8 playoff spots and 9 teams, these matchups for that all-important 8th spot are vital. And these are two teams that have played each other close head-to-head, and a team the Red Sox really need to knock off if they want that final playoff position. I'm Marshall Crocker, as always. Calling alongside me is Brian Halley. Happy to have him join me back here up in the booth. And we got a big one today, Brian. The lovely, beautiful day for baseball. And these are two teams, as I just mentioned, they're going to give each other their best fight because Brantford's had the edge this year, and Kitchener needs to make sure they can hold this Red Sox team off today.
Well, thanks, Marshall. Yeah, it's a beautiful day for baseball today. It absolutely is. The sun's shining. There's a slight breeze. It's mid-20s. It's the kind of day you hope for a ball game, absolutely. And, yeah, you queued it up properly. This is a big game for both teams, more so for Brantford. They're 2 games behind Kitchener for the last playoff spot. So to lose this game puts them 3 games back and puts them in a bit of a hole for the second half of the season. Not only that, they want to win the the regular season matchups of 6 games so that if they end up tied for that last playoff spot, they at least get in on the tiebreaker. So it's a big game for both teams. The Red Sox really need to come out and have a good game, and they've got the right personnel in the lineup to do so today.
Well, they're coming in with a 1-0 in the last one in the head-to-head column. They had that big win on Thursday, 4-3 on the road in Kitchener, and a big piece of that win is going to be our player to watch for Brantford today. You're talking a little bit about Ren Takioka.
Well, Ren Takioka had a huge 2-run homer in the 7th inning to break a 1-1 tie, and that ended up being a 4-3 ball game, so that was the difference in the ball game. Ren is his 5th in the league in hitting 392. He's also stolen 5 bases, so he can run as well. He's a great outfielder. He's a fantastic player, high energy. He's a left-handed hitter. He'll bat number 2 in the lineup in behind Paulus, and we really look for big things from him today.
Well, to talk about our other side, our other player to watch for the Kitchener Panthers today, it's going to be the gentleman leading the IBL in batting average. That's Yosvani Penalve, hitting .412 this year, the Havana Cuba native. We're going to talk more about him in just a moment. First, your national anthem. Alrighty, welcome back. As the national anthem comes to a close, very quickly we'll throw that graphic up again for you about Yosvani Penalve, our player to watch today for the Kitchener Panthers. And Brian, what's so dangerous about him, why I wanted to really highlight him, is I know the best in the league at batting average, hitting .412 is unbelievable for the Havana Cuba import. But I think the thing that's most dangerous about him is his value in extra bases. Got 28 hits on the year, 17 RBIs. I think you can speak to it, Brian, as a former manager. Very rare you have a guy not only leading the team, but leading the league that has the batting average, but the pop to go along with it.
Well, that's a rare stat indeed. Normally they don't go hand in hand. The power hitters generally hit at a lower batting average due to their swing path and due to the amount of oomph that they put into that swing, where a lot of times you have a high batting average hitter who's what we used to call a punch and Judy or a slap hitter. So he just gets the bat on a good plane, gets it through the zone, hits the opposite way a lot, but he hits to all fields. We got a good example of that last time they were in town. And he's got it all, and he just reminds you of some of the great hitters that we've seen over the years in this league. And you know what? If the fact that he can hit for power and have an average as well makes him a formidable hitter. And so when you're going through that lineup now, you have to really be careful to make sure, as a manager, I'm saying to our battery, the pitcher and the catcher, he doesn't beat us, okay? If we got to pitch around him, put him on base, and let the guy after him. If he beats us, I can live with that. But you cannot let the number one guy in the league beat you. It just doesn't happen that way.
If you're giving him pitches down the plate, it's going to look like the upcoming All-Star Game's home run contest. He can just absolutely mash balls, make it look like a batting practice in-game is why he's so dangerous. I want to take a moment now to look at our starting pitcher matchup for tonight because, as you'd expect in a game as important as we've hyped it up for the Brantford Red Sox, they're giving the Kitchener Panthers their best shot. They have former IBL Player of the Week, Connor Irvine, starting the game tonight. Even a 1-1 record for both teams, but a much more favorable strikeout-to-walk ratio, and you can see that when you watch Irvine pitch.
Absolutely. He's got great stuff, and we've seen him pitch a couple of times. He tied up the Guelph Royals a couple of weeks ago, gave them 7 innings of 1-run ball, if memory serves me, and so he's probably the best they got. He might be the de facto ace on this team, and so he's a good matchup for them. On the other side, we've got Owen McNeil. We don't know a whole lot about him. I had a brief chat with Panthers catcher Junior Ibarra before the game. Throws a fastball, slider, change-up. He's got a good live arm. And so they're expecting big things from him. He doesn't have great numbers, but we learned on our last broadcast, didn't we, when we faced Alvarado for the Toronto Maple Leafs, he didn't have really good numbers either, and he really shoved it for 5 or 6 innings on that night, and they only scored 1 run off him in 6 innings.
Could be a similar case. Owen McNeil going to be the starter tonight for the Kitchener Panthers. You'll see him in the bottom of the first inning. Want to take a quick moment before we look at the Brantford defense. First, the Kitchener offense. Let's take a look at the batting lineup tonight for the Kitchener Panthers. It's going to be Jordan Mandale leading it off, the shortstop for the Kitchener Panthers, always deadly. You got Yosvani Penalve, who we just talked about, hitting second today, and your man Junior Ibarra, Brian, is going to be hitting in the 3 spot today. Fourth is going to be Charlie Towers. Then Yosuke Fuji, the third baseman, will hit fifth. Runta Asawa is a new name for those of you that have only seen the Kitchener Panthers on these Brantford broadcasts. He's been a hot bat the last couple games. He's getting the 6th call today. AJ Carosis, another man that you're familiar with there, Brian. He's hitting 7th today. Iyad Ansari and Jamie Cabral, the very speedy left fielder, round off the lineup for the Kitchener Panthers. And we'll take a moment now as you see Connor Irvine on your screen getting his warm-up pitches in. He is an absolute fireballer. But I think the big question today, before we get on to the defense here in just a few moments, Brian, is the weather. We just finally had some shade come in, but it's been a hot day. Temperatures could reach up to 28 today. Going to be dead sunny. You got to think maybe for the starting pitcher, you got to wonder if stamina and conditioning is going to be a worry. Pitching
in the heat does sap your strength, and so it's good to be economical, and that certainly hasn't been a problem for Irvine this season. He throws a lot of strikes. And again, so we've got the situation here where the top 2 guys for Kitchener are high average, high power, high intake guys. And so, Ibarra's a guy who's going to put the ball in play, but he's the guy you got to go at. You kind of dance around the first 2 and go right at Ibarra.
First pitch from Irvine. That one goes in for a strike on Jordan Mandale, as I said, hitting in the 1 spot today, hitting 343 on the season, 24 hits, 11 RBIs, and 70 at-bats. Second pitch. Right down Main Street again. Going to go for strike number 2. Irvine patted in the zone early.
That's that nice live fastball. He gets about 6-7 inches of tail on that, whether it's a 2-seamer or a 4-seamer. He doesn't quite throw over the top, so he gets some natural tail to that fastball.
That one chopped over towards the third base area. We'll go foul. Cassidy Watt there. Going to be our man at the plate today. The back catch for Connor Irvine, as he's been most of the season. We'll take a moment now to look at our Brantford Red Sox defense today. Slightly different look than what we've seen the past couple games, but more or less your offense is going to be the similar rundown you've seen. Today it's going to be Matt Torres out there in right field. That's the big talking point. Usually Brody Black. Today going to be the right fielder is Torres in. We'll take down the graphic. I believe the graphic is from a game ago. We'll update that before we go further. So it's going to be Palos out in center field. The Ren Takioka, they're at the left field position. Bateman and Lefebvre, your second baseman and shortstop respectively, as that one's chopped up right to Lucas Lefebvre. The shortstop will not get the range, will not make the play on it. And Mandale is on to first base, held by Christian Ortega. Andrew Savage out there in third, as he's been since the departure of Tim Holdick earlier this year. And we already mentioned Cassidy Watt. That'll be your defense. And Mandale leads it off with a single.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that they had 2 strikes on him. A little bit too much of the plate there. Gave him an opportunity to drive the ball up the middle. And Lefebvre was unable to react quickly enough. It was a pretty hard hit ball.
So here's Yosvani Penalve. We talked about him pregame, hitting .412 on the season. An exceptional threat. That one inside, just low in the zone for ball 1. Connor Irvine and Yosvani Penalve. This could be a bit of a preview of what could be coming up in a few weeks in Hamilton for the All-Star game. These are 2 of the very best the IBL has to offer. The 1-0 low in the dirt. Watt can't get a hand on it, but runner will not advance. That'll go ball 2.
Nice block, though. Nice job keeping the ball in front of him, and he bounced up real quick to avoid giving up the base there. The runner might be kicking himself. If a good reaction, if he goes right away, he might have an opportunity. But when the ball gets blocked and comes forward, right away you're not thinking going because the catcher is heading towards second base.
Now the 2-0 for Pregame. That one shot back towards that shortstop position. Savage will get a hand on it. A double play opportunity. No dice. He won't get the runner at first, but nice little play there by Savage. Little barehander up to second base to record the out.
Well, a great pitch there from Irvine and a little off-speed pitch that got the ball off the bat. It was a squibber and had some bad spin on it. Nice range by Savage to be able to get a hand on the ball. His momentum was taking him towards second base, was able to get the play. I don't think they ever had a chance for a double play there, but they certainly did well getting the lead runner. Now, Junior Ibarra is a contact guy. He rarely strikes out. We know he's probably going to put the ball in play. Doesn't run real well. His knee's a little bit banged up, so he's not quite as quick as he normally is. He doesn't run terrible, but like as the old saying goes, he runs like a catcher. Good double play opportunity here for the Red Sox.
Irvine. That one low and outside for Junior Ibarra. Going to go ball 1, and Ibarra, since we last saw him, he was hitting up near 320 last trip to Brantford. Now at the 250 mark. Perfect quarter, 17 hits, 14 RBIs. Pretty good walk to strikeout ratio. Rare for a catcher in 68 at-bats. That one sent right back towards Lefebvre. He's getting plenty of practice today. For 1, you might have called it, Brian. It was close, but for 2, double play gets him, and Ibarra tried to leg it out, but you could see a little bit of discomfort even on that play.
Yeah, he's working on a sore left leg there, and really nice pick by Ortega. The turn by Bateman was not great when you had that much time, but you knew, and that was the one thing that was really smart about that double play is the fact that they're aware that it's a catcher on the limp, so they've got a little extra time, so they didn't rush through it. You could use a little better throw from Bateman over to first base, but again, a nice pick by Ortega at first. Got the double play, so important. And I think I'd be surprised if it was even 10 pitches thrown by Irvine in that inning. One thing we've seen already, 3 batters up, 3 ground balls. He's got that sinker slider. Everything seems to move down, and he gets a lot of ground balls.
Yeah, just going to make sure to keep that ball out of the air today, and that's going to be a really big thing, I think, for the offense for Kitchener is just kind of punishing with home runs because we've seen so few this year. We've seen a couple from road teams, a couple big ones from the home side, but been hard to get the long ball to work here for opposing teams when they come to Arnold Anderson. I want to take a quick moment now to talk about your starting lineup offensively for the Brantford Red Sox today. It's relatively similar to what you've seen if you watched our last broadcast a week ago this time at that matchup against the Toronto Maple Leafs on Sunday. More or less the same. It's going to be Ethan Palos leading off. He's also playing center field defensively today. Rene Takioka, who again we talked about earlier, 5th in the league in batting average. He and Penalve are players to watch, squaring off both in the 2 spot. Lucas Bateman's still hitting in that 3 spot, but it's Ortega who's kind of jumped to Cassidy Watt to that 4 position. Going to try to be the guy to capitalize on his power approach. Cassidy Watt, though, still going to be 5th. Matt Torzen, who's had a couple big swings of the bat this season, going to be in that 6th spot. He's starting at first base for a change today. The ever-dangerous Andrew Savage, again, we talk about small sample size for him, but he's actually shifted, and it's going to be actually this graphic as well. A couple graphics need a quick resetting, so let me jump back a little bit. Everything we've said to this point is going to be correct, but the final 2 spots. Jeremy Veilleux actually is going to hit 8th today. I don't believe he's been here at a game you've seen yet, Brian. And then Lucas Lefebvre is the big talking point. And I want to bring that up because we talk a lot about Max Schmarter. He was our player to watch a few weeks ago. Just immense value defensively. Some highlight reel plays. Good stuff for the Brantford Red Sox social media. But his hitting, we just couldn't really get the momentum, at least not quickly enough for the management staff here for Brantford. So he's been subbed out for Lefebvre. That'll be something to watch later this year because Schmarter was an everyday player, and now all of a sudden he's an everyday player.
Right, and so, at the end of the day, you got to hit. There's an old saying in baseball, if you hit, you don't sit, and Lefebvre has been hitting, and so they got to find a way to get him into the lineup. Schwarber, as you said, has given them great defense, but at the end of the day, they've got to get going here. Veilleux, I haven't seen this year, but I know him from past years, from when I coached in the league.
Owen McNeil on the mound. His first pitch of the day, going to go wide into the dirt for ball 1.
So I think this iteration of the lineup, that you could mess around with the players, but I think this 9 might be their best 9 in whatever order they decide to, put them out there. I like Paulus. He's a great contact hitter. Of course, everybody knows I love Takioka as well. He's a great player. Had a chat with him before the game as well.
The 1-1. That one chopped up and foul. Should find its way over the fence out in third base line.
There's that slider that I heard about. It's not a real big breaker. It's a tight slider. He throws it pretty hard. He's got the live fastball. Looks like a two-seamer. Breaks a little bit to the left side of the plate as we're looking at it from the right side on your screen there from center field.
1-2 for McNeil. That one will also sent off, this time low and on the ground.
He throws pretty hard. He throws mid-80s, maybe a little harder. And, that slider is a nice mix. It's a pretty tight fit. I haven't seen the changeup yet, though.
Paolo's sitting 345, only 8 strikeouts on the season to go with 8 walks. No stolen bases, surprisingly, for a guy hitting from the leadoff position, but we'll try to get on base here. That one's sent out towards the left field area. Left fielder tracking it well. A little bit of movement, though. He will come down. He'll make the catch. That's Jamie Cabral, the ever-speedy left fielder out there. Will make your first retirement of the day.
Yeah, I think what we're going to see is that for those of you golfers listening out there, you'll find that sometimes the wind affects the ball more above the tree line than it does when you're standing and addressing the ball. And I think we're going to see that today in the ballpark as well. When the ball gets up above the tree line, the wind is probably going to have a bit of an effect. It looks like it's kind of blowing from right field to left field and a little bit in. So it'll be tough to hit one out of here today.
Our player to watch, Rene Takioka. We've talked plenty about him. Takes that first pitch just outside the zone. Good take there.
Had a nice chat with this young man before the game. Really soft-spoken, well-mannered young man. He's really enjoying his time in the league. It's his first year in the league. Likes the fact that he's playing with ex-major leaguers, ex-minor leaguers. Nice spot to be. He loves the atmosphere here in the ballpark as well.
Another great take off the outside of the plate. McNeil really going to have to earn those strikes on the outside. Not getting much to work with from the home plate umpire. Next up to bat, Andrew Savage to make an earlier correction. He's actually hitting third today, getting the call up in the order, replacing Bateman. That one will finally find the zone. That's going to be strike one. Really looking to work down the middle. Doesn't look like he's trying to get a ton of movement as McNeil, just trying to find his placement with those fastballs.
Well, we all know Takioka likes to be right on top of the plate. He loves that inside pitch.
That one is going to actually get the call. Looked a little low, but it'll find its way in. Takioka taking exception, still staring down the umpire.
He didn't like that one at all, did he?
Rare you see Takioka show a ton of emotion, but there he took exception. Here's the 2-2. Big swing, big miss. A rare strikeout swinging from Rene Takioka. Quick jaw at the umpire, and he'll make his way over towards the bench.
And that's really smart call there, too, when you just got a call on the inside part. Started on the inside, throw the slider, and busted in on him to get him to commit to that inside pitch. That pitch was off the plate with the slider when it broke, but there was nothing he could do. I'm pretty sure by my ears tell me he got a piece of that pitch as it went by, but Ibarra able to hang on for the strikeout.
First pitch there in the dirt from McNeil on Savage as he follows up his first strikeout of the day. And Andrew Savage, here's a guy to talk about. 381, only 21 at-bats. He's been a new appearance in the lineup, but he's looked good at third base, and he's already got a homer and 3 RBIs in his young campaign. That one chopped up and over our heads. Strike one, even 1-1 count.
Yeah, he hit the ground running when he landed in Guelph for his first game. Had 3 hits, was a big factor in that win there, and he just kept the hitting going. So management have moved him up to the 3-hole here to see if he can extend this Red Sox lineup.
The 1-1 just high. It's going to go 2-1 now for Andrew Savage, and a guy that's filling the shoes of one of the best and brightest in the IBL at the start of the year, Tim Holick, who started off the season rotating between left field and third base. Thought he'd be the everyday third baseman. That spot was vacant. Now Savage looks like he's filled it. Good movement on that pitch. Does find the zone. Now 2-2. Nice little movement there from McNeil.
Yeah, that's a nice tight little slider he's got there. He throws hard, so the tight slider really mixes in well. Like I say, I don't think I've seen the changeup yet, though. Now we can see that Savage also likes to be right in on the plate as well.
Could be time to try the off speed here on 2-2. That one gets the bat. Going to be set foul. We'll get another chance at it. Will McNeil almost hit the batter.
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you have your foot. He's got his back foot. I think you can see it there. He's got his back foot right on that inside line of the batting box. Generally, your hands are out, so his hands may actually be in the strike zone.
Here comes the 2-2. 2 outs in the inning. That one well struck right back towards the pitcher. Should be an easy textbook play. It is. Owen McNeil will make the quick fielding play to end the first inning of work. Nice job there from the starter for the Kitchener Panthers. 1 strikeout, had the fly out, and will retire Savage on the ground out back to the pitcher. Be a scoreless first inning. Only one hit registered so far. That was Penalve pardon me. Yeah, it was Penalve. It got the sacrifice hit to get on base, but besides that, not much offensively here in the first inning. We'll be back in just a few moments. Going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to talk more IBL action in the top of the second. Join us momentarily. And welcome back to the IBL Brantford Red Sox coverage here live on YouTube or wherever you may be watching us. I'm Marshall Crocker, welcoming you back to the top of the second inning. It's going to be Charlie Towers hitting fourth today for the Kitchener Panthers as we open up the second inning of action. First pitch going to be taken just above the zone. That's going to be ball one for Charlie Towers.
Good-looking young player. Good range at second base. He impressed me defensively last time they were in town.
It's rare you see a guy in the four spot hitting 225 as he sends that one foul. 225 average, but 16 hits on the season, 10 runs to show for it, a 8 walk to 15 strikeout ratio, and a couple stolen bases to go along with it. So not a conventional four-hitter.
Well, the Panthers are near the bottom of the league in hitting in several categories, and it's been part of the problem that they have had trying to move up from the 8th position in the standings.
That one going to be hit well towards center field. Palos settling under it. And it'll come down. The wind didn't carry that one any which way, and easily records the out there for Charlie Towers.
It was good positioning by the center fielder there, and I think he moved maybe 4 steps to his left. Went right at him there. Really positive start for Irvine, throwing a lot of strikes, getting the guys' bats in the zone. Makes your defense better. When you throw strikes, the ball gets put in play more often, and your defense will always play better because if they're standing around for long periods of time, your feet kind of settle into the dirt, and it affects your reaction time.
A nice first strike on that sinker there. Connor Irvine's going to want to keep the ball down against Yosuke Fuji, who's going to be hitting here in the 5 spot. That one outside just misses the zone for ball one, and Fuji's hitting 352 on the season, 10 RBIs, 11 walks. Has been exceptional, and 6 home runs hitting in that 5 spot. Surprised, actually, he's not hitting further up the lineup.
Yeah, I think he bats a little higher up in Kitchener because at Couch, you're more likely to be hitting home runs than you are here in Brantford.
The 2-1. Big swing and a miss there from Fuji. This will go to a 2-2 count, and Irvine is getting some big whiffs from hitters early in this one.
Yeah, he's getting some nice sink on that fastball. It looks really good today.
The 2-2 from Irvine, looking for his first strikeout.
Nice.
Doesn't quite find the zone. Umpire won't give it to him.
May have been a bit up.
Full count here for Irvine. He'll get a fair few punch outs today, I'd imagine. This could be the first. That one going to be chopped right towards first base. Will barely go foul, but Christian Ortega, he was ready there for it.
Tried to sneak a fastball inside on him there, but Fuji was ready and turned on it and almost turned it into a double.
Next up is going to be Runta Asawa. When he does inevitably get the opportunity here in a moment, he's been a new face for the Panthers lineup, but the full count. That one shot back again. He keeps this at bat going, and if memory serves, Fuji and a lot of these top hitters for Kitchener, when last they were here, I know it was that big blowout win by the end that Brantford really got their homestand started, but the top hitters for Kitchener were doing a good job lengthening at bats last time. Here's the 3-2. Inside, it'll hit him, and if it doesn't, it was a ball anyway. That was not what Connor Irvine was looking for to end off what in the end is going to go down as an 8-pitch at bat there to Fuji. Did an exceptional job at the plate. Well,
yeah, they got 2 strikes on the hitter and really tried to bust him in to finish him off. But, at the end of the day, he just missed on that 1-2 pitch outside, but the slider was a little bit up or went around the plate, according to umpire Chris Long. Good wheels on first base with Fuji here. Osawa just came with the team, and he's had a good start with them.
First pitch to Osawa. That one low and outside. Watt can't get in front of it, and he'll get it quick enough that no advance from Fuji, but a little bit dangerous there. Osawa hitting .318 so far in the young season. He's done quite well since he came into the lineup. Biggest thing, he's got a home run. It's his only RBI on the year, so presumably it was solo. But doing a good job just getting the ball in play. A couple more strikeouts than you'd like to see from a contact specialist, but also has a stolen base to go along with it. So good impact he's made in his 22 at-bats. That one inside. Thought about coming in on him, but Osawa steps off it. Now 2-0.
Interesting here. They've got good speed both on the bases and at the plate. Wouldn't surprise me if they put a play on.
That one inside again. Irvine just can't quite find a spot on the inside of the plate, and it's not a lot of horizontal movement he's trying to play with.
Well, 3-0 now. You got to come right back at him. You don't want to have 2 on with nobody out. You open yourselves up for the big inning here.
High stance from Osawa. That one will find the zone. Osawa, thought it was a little bit low. A couple calls here really from Chris Long on that inside of the plate. A couple of these righties not happy, but he'll have to deal with it just like Takioka did. 3-1. That one finds the zone as well. Back to a full count. Irvine's fighting his way back in it.
There's a real good example of pitching backwards. A 3-1 count, traditionally a fastball count. He drops the hook on him right there, and he was just window shopping.
Movement on first base from Fuji.
I'd come back with another hook here.
That one sent right out towards the left field. Tracking under it, makes the catch as Takioka, and the runner will head back to first base. Ball didn't get much carry from the wind. Takioka saw it all the way.
No, they got away with one there. He cut a little bit too much of that plate, and he got good contact on it, but he hit it right at the left fielder. If he hits it in the gap, that's going to the wall, probably scores a run. But fair enough, you got one out, and so now you really got to go at this hitter to try and snuff this rally out.
Here's a gentleman you said you were familiar with, Brian. This is AJ Carosas, the DH hit today.
Yeah, he played for me with the Kitchener Juniors there. He's a real wizard defensively. He's got a good swing. It's a bit of an odd stance. I was just going to say, you probably want to attack him with breaking balls. He can hit the gas, but he's a young guy, and so, like I said, I'd give him a steady diet of off-speed pitches.
He did on the first. Let's see what he does at the second. Connor Irvine, 0-1. Oh, we'll try the pick play at first. Won't get him, but
that's a big lead from Fuji there.
Best to keep their runners on their shoes, and Irvine is elite. Great poise, keeping an eye on those base runners. That one, another breaking ball. That time didn't find the zone. Carosas will take it for ball 1. 29 pitches early on in this one so far for Connor Irvine. Let's see if he can get out of the second with less than 35. Would be nice. Here's the 1-1. That one outside. Watt set up off the plate. Looked like he threw it right at him. I think he thought he might get some horizontal movement back to the zone, but didn't.
Yeah, just a little bit outside there. He was a little quick with that one. He seems to be real worried about the runner going, so he's trying to be quick to the plate.
Here's the 2-1. Big lead for Fuji. Swing and a miss for AJ Carosas. Now 2-2 and 2 outs.
Yeah, there's that curveball again. Like I say, I wouldn't veer away from the plan. I'd throw him another breaking ball.
Another big lead for Fuji. Here's the 2-2. That one low. Watt does a quick grab, quick look to make sure no advance for Fuji. He doesn't. And another full count. Third of the game for Irvine. Second consecutive at-bats.
Well, they went back to the fastball there. Like I say, well, we may have broken a string on the catcher's glove.
Do a quick check on the equipment here. I believe they may run back.
Yeah, so the bullpen catcher will run out and grab his glove, and they'll try and they'll get him another glove while they work on that, try and fix it up for next inning.
A couple other games around the IBL today. We're going to update you your out-of-town scores a little bit later on, but I know there was a 1 o'clock start time. Every team but one playing their games today on a lovely IBL Sunday. Great weather, nice little turnout. People still settling in here at Arnold Anderson, but they should be in for a good day of baseball to get the special Canada Day jerseys and what has become one of the Red Sox, you could say, greatest team rivals. Here we go. Full count. 2 outs.
And the runner will be running.
Strike 3. Sits him down. Ends the second inning. First of the day for Connor Irvine. He was close on a couple. He had that full count go his way on the big fly out to left field to Takioka. That time he does it himself. First strikeout of the day.
Yeah, he dropped the hook on him there, as I suspected he would. Like I say, AJ is a good hitter. He's got a good swing, but he struggles a little bit with the breaking ball. And so a good pitch sequence there, although you don't really like to see him go real deep in the count too often because that drives up your pitch count. And, of course, we know if there is a kind of a soft underbelly to this team, the bullpen getting through those middle innings until they can get to a Mejia or a Dos Santos or a De La Cruz.
Right.
You know, the ability to get your starter through 6 or 7 innings is very important for this ball club, especially if McNeil is going to throw like he did in the first inning.
We'll just taking a quick look around here. The London Majors and the Toronto Maple Leafs, they were the 1 o'clock start time. That's at Labatt Park, and currently London up 4-2 at home in that contest. The Barrie Bay Cats and the Hamilton Cardinals started the same time we did, top of the second for them. The road Barrie Bay Cats, they travel to where we'll be having the All-Star game there in Hamilton. They are up 2-0 and currently scoreless as the Guelph Royals and the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. We'll take a moment while McNeil warms up. Maybe we'll throw up the standings here in the IBL as of today, June 29th. And again, we can highlight, Brian, just how important this game is, but how important a lot of games around the league are going to be. 2 teams at 9-9. 2 teams at the top of the league, 12-7, second and third. And then, of course, this all-important matchup, the 6-13 Panthers, 4-15 Red Sox, 5 wins to 6 wins should this one go the way of the Red Sox. That is huge, especially when you have the head-to-head.
Well, and maybe even more importantly is the fact that if you lose this, you drop 3 games back, and now you're 2-2 in the season series. You know, so you start looking at things like run differential and other things. Like, it's still early, but it's never too early to start thinking about the playoffs. And if you're the Red Sox, with all the work that they've done with the new ownership, with Terry Smith coming in, all the players they're bringing in, playoffs should be first and foremost. You know, obviously they're not really realistically chasing a championship yet, but playoffs should be very much a realistic goal.
That one goes in for strike 1 for McNeil, and now he's facing off with the big man with the big swing. Christian Ortega is going to be hitting fourth today. One of the best on the team when it comes to converting hits into RBIs. Ortega hitting .347 this year, 25 hits, 14 RBIs. That leads the team. He's got 7 walks to go along with it as that one's sent right back towards our heads for strike 2 on the foul ball.
Yeah, and I was watching Christian throw pre-game. He's a big dude, man. He is a very imposing figure. You know, if it gets too bright out, you can go stand by him, and he provides shade like an out tree.
That one wide. I think Ortega thought about the swing there. Could have been a 3-ball strike, but instead he'll stay alive at 1-2.
Well, McNeil throws hard. You got to be ready for that fastball. You really got to load up for it, and that's why that tight slider works so well for him.
On deck, going to be another big hitter. Matt Torsen going to be hitting 5th behind him. Here's the 1-2. Big swing, big miss. Ortega sat down with McNeil's second K of the day.
Well, he's kicking himself there. You see the look on his face. He's not upset with the umpire. He's upset with himself. It looked like he was sitting breaking ball there, and he got it, and he took a big hack at it. But unfortunately, he swung over top of it.
Well, here comes Matty Torsen. He's hitting 5th today and has a batting average that is climbing by the week. .281 this year. 16 hits, 11 runs. That one sent right at the shortstop. Mondelez gets a hand on it and gets a throw on it. Quick, easily recorded out. And as the pitcher, that's how you keep your pitch count down. Just a nice quick ground out on a nice pitch to contact ball.
Absolutely, 1 pitch, 1 out. I'm always a big fan of.
All right, Cassidy Watt, a gentleman who's been hitting in that spot, now occupied by Matt Torsen most of the season. He's got a good power upside, and that average has been climbing steadily. He's now at 200 on the year, 2 big home runs, 14 hits, and another guy good at converting hits to RBIs, 8 on the year. Just a little bit high, going to go for ball 1.
Well, we know he can hit this fastball, that's for sure. So this is a real power versus power matchup.
It'll take time. He's looking dialed in. Cassidy Watt, the ever-athletic catcher, has done a great job this year with those pickoffs on those back picks on first, but specifically the throws to second. Good offense, too, but that one going to go by him for strike 1. 1-1 here for McNeil.
That's an interesting, it's not quite a three-quarter release there, but when he's got that little drop down, it gives him some life on the fastball, and the slider comes out of that same arm angle.
Watt was swinging for the fence there. Didn't find pay dirt. It's going to be 1-2.
Which makes it kind of difficult to pick it up coming out of his hand, which way the ball's going to go. One goes to the left, one goes to the right. You almost find yourself in a guessing situation, so you have to go up there with a plan, sit on one certain pitch in one certain spot.
That one wide, and outside off the plate. One of the best in the league you've talked about in the past. Ibarra is at framing his pitches, does a really exceptional job kind of earning the pitcher's strikes, and hasn't really needed to do so far, but McNeil may get some help from that today. 2-2 here. Oh, that one going to be a wild pitch. No base runners. A full count, and it's times like that with a lot of base runners today for the Panthers are wondering, man, why couldn't we have got one of those from Irvine so far?
Well, and that's a combination of credit to the pitcher and, of course, Cassidy Watt, who's very good at blocking the ball.
Here's the full count pitch, 2 outs.
Choking up, I notice.
That one going to be sent well. Might find its way just foul. Going to be close at the pole. Just out of the reach of Cabral, who's still running. Was worried he was going to kind of trip on something. Luckily, nothing out there on the left side of the Arnold Anderson outfield. But holy cow, Brian, he tracked that one
he went a long way after that. While he's over there, he may as well put a bet in at the casino. He went a long ways out of play there.
Oh, boy. And back comes Cassidy Watt, who he had to do his fair share run in there. Had to keep him honest, but that one, unfortunately, a fair ways outside the pole. Would have been one of the catches of the year had Cabral got a hand on that. Don't think we have a camera that can even cover out there. Back to full count, 2 outs, big pitch, and the crowd's getting loud here in Brantford. That one sent right towards third base. Won't find the inside of the lines. Now 8th pitch of the at-bat, starting to work that count up. McNeil, 28th of the day.
Yeah, as the offensive team, you absolutely love any at-bat like this. Even if he strikes out, you're looking at an 8 or 9 pitch at-bat. That really works. It's a productive out or a quality at-bat is how we refer to it.
Which you wouldn't expect from a guy hitting 200, but Watt has looked good in these situations all year. That one shot foul again, keeps it alive. Now 9 pitches, and the Brantford bench is showing their support.
Yeah, this is an epic battle right here. We love these. This is one of my favorite things in all of baseball. See these 9 to 10 pitch at bats. Put so much pressure on the pitcher to continually throw strikes. The longer you can stay alive, the more pressure you put on the pitcher to throw a strike. All he's got to do is miss here, and you get a walk.
Here we go, full count, attempt number 4. All fouled up again, and it finds its way out. 10th pitch, and Cassidy Watt, he's shaking his head here positively. He is happy with how long this is going.
Well, now you've got 2 options here. I don't see a changeup. You know, the fastball, he hasn't really shown that he's really putting the fastball in play. Both the balls that he hit hard and pulled down to the left-hand side were breaking pitches, so I might stay with the fastball.
That one sent well out towards right field, but won't quite find the pole. It was close. I think the crowd...
Somebody's van. It was a red van. Attention, if you're driving a red van and you're listening to us at the ballpark, you might want to go look for damage.
Had this at-bat ended any of the 10 earlier pitches, that wouldn't have happened. That is rough luck for that red minivan driver. Here's pitch 12 from McNeil. Watt's got the crowd fired up here.
And he went with the changeup. We'll see if he can get out of play.
Sent foul the third. Fuji tracking it. Out it goes. Pitch 13 coming up for Cassidy Watt.
And the Red Sox dugout is going crazy over there. They love this.
He's timed him up here, Brian. If he sends this one forward, and goodness forbid, into a home run, this could be one of the biggest ovations we've seen all year.
Any way he gets on base, and that dugout goes crazy, even if he draws a walk. And then credit to McNeil, who's thrown 6 straight strikes here. That was a breaking pitch, so maybe go back to the fastball.
Attempt 14. Sent forward. Could it find its way down? A hole in the center and right. No, makes the catch. Nice catch there from Osvani Penalve, but an incredible effort from Cassidy Watt. That could have been one of the moments of the Brantford year had that got down.
And I tell you what, like I said, you got to give credit to McNeil, who finished that at bat with 7 or 8 straight pitches in the strike zone. He couldn't miss once, or it was going to be a walk. So that's, like I say, that's one of the beauties of baseball when you get those individual battles. And, one way or the other, you are entertained.
Well, as we got a bit of a game going on here for the fans live at Arnold Anderson Stadium, we'll head away for just a few moments. Join us back for the top of the third at Arnold Anderson as the IBL Brantford Red Sox YouTube will be back in a moment. And welcome back. Happy Sunday, baseball fans, to the IBL Brantford Red Sox coverage here live on YouTube or wherever you may be watching us. Marshall Crocker joined alongside Brian Hawley. And today we get the Fun Canada Day jerseys because this is the closest game to Tuesday's Canada Day festivities. Unfortunately, no home game here for your Brantford Red Sox, but we will have action. It's going to be on the road. We'll talk a little bit about our games coming up. Brantford is in Chatham, Kent on Tuesday, July the 1st. That's a 6:05 start time there. Then Thursday, we'll be on the road against Welland. Then on the road against Hamilton Thursday and Friday. Both those games are at about 7 o'clock start time. Check the local listing for exactly when that's going to come up on YouTube. And then our next home game back here at Arnold Anderson a week today. Once again, that's going to be against the Welland Jackfish, currently second in the league. That's at Sunday, July 6th at 2 o'clock. Same start time as today. As back to the offensive side go the Kitchener Panthers, and it's Ayad Ansari hitting .250 on the season. He's another new substitution. Only 20 at-bats so far this year, but 2 big home runs in those at-bats. Might be a potential power threat.
Well, much like the Brantford Red Sox, the Kitchener Panthers are bringing in more talent seemingly weekly, trying to get their team squared away as well, because they're having trouble getting wins, putting wins together. They've had a similar problem in that their bullpen has been causing them trouble as well.
As much as we've seen relatively solid lineup polyamory here from the Brantford Red Sox this year, once they really find their pieces, they tend to stick to them long term. There's a bit of a conversation going on here between Chris Long and the manager for Kitchener.
Well, the mask is still on, and that generally with a home plate umpire, the patience is being lost when the mask comes off. I'm not sure what the problem is, to be honest with you. But he's certainly making a point.
A couple gestures at Irvine on the mound for Brantford, but discussion continues here. Connor Irvine staying warm, throwing back and forth with Ortega.
Well, they're disappointed with some decision that's been made, although, we're unable to find out exactly what was going on there. We will do our best to try and find out what went on. But it wasn't just the manager. The third base coach was in on the discussion trying to figure something out as well. So maybe it had something to do with the Brantford starting pitcher. Who knows?
As the eager discourse comes to an end, back to the mound is Connor Irvine. First pitch to Ansari. He's just above the zone for ball 1.
So an opportunity here to go at the bottom of the lineup. You got 8-9-1 coming up. Good Wheels and Cabral coming up on deck. Good right at these guys.
That one now wide off the plate. Irvine finds himself down 2-0. Ansari, 3 walks to 6 strikeouts. 3 walks and 20 ABs. Not bad on the young season. That one now high this time. He's really painted a picture around the zone so far. Has Irvine now 3-0.
Yeah, nothing really close thus far.
3-0, showing bunt. Changes his mind. Ball 4. Tricky little play there. And Connor Irvine will walk his first batter of the inning. Second of the day is it's Irvin to Ansari, which will now bring up Jamie Cabral.
So now with good wheels here, number 9 hitter up in a tight ball game. Kitchener might put a play on here. We're not sure.
So that would be Ansari on first.
Pretty conservative lead at first.
Showing bunt. That came off the bat. Going to go straight foul back at the Kitchener batting circle where Mondelez is warming up.
Well, if that's a sacrifice bunt, that's a frustration to the manager. He just stuck the bat out at the last second. If you're going to sacrifice, get up to the front of the box, get the bat out early, and make sure you get it down.
That one in on him for a strike. Jamie Cabral, big speed threat, a guy you want to keep off the bags. And now Irvin's got him down 0-2 here. Looking for strikeout number 2 on the day. That one chopped right at the second baseman. Bateman, it goes over his head. Couldn't quite time the bounce. And the right fielder's going to make a quick misplay on it as well. Torres in a rare appearance out there this season at right field, and a bit of a bobble there for him. And that Bateman situation was weird there. Brian just got right over his head when he wasn't expecting.
Well, there's one of the other old sayings in the baseball is that you play the ball, don't let the ball play you. And he backed up on that ball instead of charging it. You want to charge the ball and try and either get it on the long hop or take it right off the ground on the short hop. He got stuck on the in-between hop, which means you have to execute some kind of a moving drop step, which is really difficult to do. Mm-hmm. And we know already from previous games that you can get a high bounce off the back of that infield, especially when it's dry.
Runner goes there on first, but it won't matter. That ball is sent well past the shortstop. Runner will come in to score. And the runner will advance. Now, runner's on the corners on a great piece of hitting as Mondelez on his very first pitch sends it over the head of Lefebvre for a single.
Well, and I got to admit, I'm a little confused as to why the shortstop was covering the bag there. The runner went with a right-handed hitter up, and the shortstop went. So clearly, they were not expecting Mondelez to pull the baseball because they switched and had the shortstop cover the steal. And that's why, otherwise, it's a line drive right at, if he stays home, it's a line drive right at the shortstop, and it's an easy double play. So, like I said, I'm not sure why the shortstop was covering second base there on the pull side, running again. Runner
goes again, and it gets a bat on the ball. So
Watt I think he got that on the arm or the wrist.
He's all right. Doing a good job to check on him as Yosvani Penalve. The runner will reset there as that one did hit the bat for strike 1. So runners on the corners here. That's going to be Ayad Ansari, who led the inning off with a 4-ball walk. Now he's going to become the first runner of the day on the ledger. 1-0 lead here for the Kitchener Panthers in the top of the third. Penalve down 0-1.
Sorry, Marshall. There's still nobody out here in the league's top hitter up. This is a difficult situation, an opportunity for Kitchener to put up a curved number here.
No movement so far in the bullpen. They're going to give Connor Irvin their trust. Runner goes again. That one shot back towards the first baseman, Ortega. He'll get a play on it. They'll make the play at first, record the out. No, they're safe, he says. Another runner goes at third. He's safe as well. Heartbreak on defense for the Red Sox, and the runner scored nonetheless. Cabral will come home for his first run of the day.
Okay, so a lot to unpack there. We had a high chopper. It was a hit-and-run play again, a high chopper. And so the ball was just hit sort of into the Bermuda Triangle area of the infield. So the first baseman has to come in and play it. The pitcher took an improper angle, and I'm not accusing him of anything. He was taking the wrong angle because he thought he may have to field the baseball.
Right.
So once the first baseman got the baseball, when he's on the wrong angle, it's a difficult ball to receive from the first baseman to get that out at first, and he dropped the baseball and everybody's safe. So it's opportunity right now, same as the first inning, for Brantford to get a double play ball here. You're almost willing to give up a run to get a double play. Runner going bluff.
There he goes again. That one going to be chopped fair. Run down with the base runner as they'll go all the way back and tag Ibarra. And the base runner will advance otherwise. So finally an out in the inning for the Brantford Red Sox. But, I mean, honestly, my biggest thing on that last play, just to jump back a play, I am surprised that they didn't get him at first. It looked pretty comfortable to me. I'm wondering if maybe just a misstep, because it looked like they got the base runner in time, but the tag apparently not going to be legal on the bag. Either way, now 1 out in the inning. Brantford finally will take a base runner out of play as the lead now 2-0 with Ansari and Cabral already scoring a run this inning. That's Penalve and Ibarra down, so we're up to Charlie Towers here. Make his second cuts of the day. Flew out in the second inning.
And Irvin could really use a strikeout here.
A little bit of movement. That one shot back foul.
If I'm Brantford, I'm looking very seriously at a back pick at second base. Really aggressive lead from Penalver.
Here's Towers. The 0-1 from Irvin. That one right down the zone, but a little bit high. Having trouble with that vertical placement for ball one. Yosuke Fuji, the man on deck for the Panthers. Runners on second and third. Irvin, a big inning here. That one sent right over towards right field. Can Torres get the play on it? He can. He'll try the throw home. A little bit off horizontally. Won't get there. The runner's safe. And Cassidy Watt's a great catcher, but he didn't get much to work with there.
Yeah, no chance. Just a little bit too deep. The throw was a little bit high. And good wheels.
Yep.
That's the leadoff hitter, I think, wasn't it?
That was Mondoe. That'll score his first run of the day.
Yep.
Good start there for the leadoff hitter for the Kitchener Panthers. 2 singles and a run so far for Jordan Mondoe. Here's Yosuke Fuji, walked in the second.
So this is a really important at bat as well. They've got 3, you got 2 out, got a runner at third base. Really important at bat to get out of this without any further damage.
Nice vertical movement there, but a little bit wide off the plate. Ball 1. Irvin's pitch count now up to 48 here through 3 innings.
And really only 1 hard hit ball turning into 3 runs.
That one will find the zone. Another similar changeup there for strike 1, 1-1. Runners left on third. 1-1 is the count. That one, oh. Keep an eye on him as he gets up slowly. Fuji looks like he's all right. The trainer came over. He'll head back. I was worried there, but potentially a lower leg injury, something there. Went down on that exit of the swing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what part of the lower leg he got that off of, but busted him in with the fastball. He found it off. Those can hit anything from the top of the foot to the ankle to one I saw yesterday in our game, getting it off the calf and leaving a nice bruise there. So got 2 strikes on him. Maybe go back to the curveball. Real important to get this guy.
Here he goes, 1-2. That one sent right at Ortega. He'll field it properly and he'll record the out. The damage will be held to 3 as the Brantford Red Sox allow 3 to the Kitchener Panthers in that inning. And you made a great point just a moment ago, Brian. Only 1 real hard hit ball leading to 3 runs. That's where the basics there, as a former manager yourself, the basics of fielding can be oh so detrimental when done wrong.
Well, like I say, the part that's really confusing to me is one or the other. Either why have you got the shortstop on the pull side covering second base on the stolen base, or why are you throwing him soft stuff inside so that he can pull the ball?
Right.
You have to have some sync there, saying, okay, we're going to cover the bag pull side, so you've got to throw hard outside to not allow him to pull the baseball. Or, like I say, you have to say, I'm going to throw soft in, so make sure that you're covering the steal with the second baseman. And so the shortstop and second baseman, the advantage you have, say, in the major leagues when they're using the pitch comm, is that everybody's got a speaker and everybody knows what's coming, so that the infielders can switch up who's covering that base. If they don't know what the pitch is, they don't know if, or just maybe they were in sync and the pitcher just failed to execute. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Maybe they were thinking it's going to be fastball outside. He ended up getting it in, but he caught a good amount of the plate. It was a line drive that was hit. And so, like I said, if the shortstop wasn't covering the bag, the ball goes right to him. Line drive, he could have walked it over to first for an easy double play. And I don't think they gave up any runs there, to be honest with you. Well, yeah, they give up the 1 run because of the bad hop play, the next play at second base. So they only give up the 1 run. That's the other thing, too, is that, when you're out at second base, and now Bateman's got a chance to amend his situation here. So, like I say, I just like to see aggressive defense. That ball bounced high up in the air. You really got to charge that and take it off the short hop.
Well, here's Lucas Bateman. He's hitting 7th today, having dropped from 3rd in the order earlier in this year. His batting average, formerly one of the best in the league, has dropped down to .292 as the first pitch comes in for a strike there. Bateman, 19 hits on the year. He's at 65 at-bats. And in those, he's got 8 RBIs, a 6-9 walk-to-strikeout ratio, 3 stolen bases to go along with it this year. That one wide off the plate. Ball one, even 1-1 count. And Bateman's a guy that we've seen as high as 3, had one day at leadoff, has some good speed upside, but that average has been dropping slowly and slowly. Hasn't been a great month of June. He'll look to get himself back in the saddle today as that goes in for ball 2.
Well, I think you can add to that the fact that a couple other hitters are hitting really well. Savage has been moved up. And Torrenson as well has moved up. Those guys have been hot, and so, you move them up and down the order a little bit as they go, So you take the hot guys, you get them up at the top. When they cool off, Bateman is a good enough hitter where I'm sure he's going to get hot again, and they'll probably pump him right back up into that 3-hole.
McNeil really fooled Bateman on that last slider. That one he just catches. That slider's got some nasty movement on it, and it doesn't break until just at that, decision point for the hitters. So a couple by Bateman, he just hasn't been able to time up. Was lucky to get a bat there on that one for 2-2.
Yeah, the science on the slider is that when you throw it real hard, it breaks late, and that's what makes it so effective.
That one going to be chopped weakly towards the shortstop. That's Mondelez looking at the easy play. He'll get there. Bateman tried to leg it out, but he'll come up just short. Out number 7, still no hits for the Red Sox home side.
Tell you what, Mondelez is silky smooth out there. He's got a great set of hands, strong arm. Shortstop, that it reminds me of the last shortstop out there for the Kitchener Panthers, Raul Gonzalez. Everybody remembers Raul Gonzalez as a hitter, a guy who was an MVP candidate, but his ability to go from glove hand to throwing hand was as quick. That transfer was as quick as any player I've seen at any level, at any position. It really was amazing to watch him work defensively.
Well, here's Jeremy Veilleux, the man getting the DH call today, hitting in the 8th spot. Takes his first ball a moment ago. That one inside. Not inside enough, though, says home plate umpire Chris Long, in for strike 1. And I think, Brian, if you told Brantford Red Sox knowledgeables and fans at the start of the year 3 guys would be hitting 300 by the end of June, they would have assumed Jeremy Veilleux was one of them. That time, though, he will get it to the first baseman. It'll go by him. First base runner for the Brantford Red Sox on the error. A bit of a misplay there by first baseman Iyad Ansari.
Yeah, you let that one eat him up a little bit. You got to play that backhander out in front with your back foot out, so you're opened up a little bit. He was a little bit closed, let the ball get a little deep, and was unable to pick it up. So we'll see if Brantford can take advantage of the error like Kitchener did with Brantford. Worst case scenario, the good news is if Lefebvre is unable to get on base, you got the top of the order coming up.
New face to the lineup. Remember, he's kind of subbing in for Max Schmarter from at least from the last couple games here. A little bit more upside on offense, you got to think. I know Schmarter was really having some trouble with the batting average, but so good defensively. Lefebvre's got decently big shoes to fill. He's going to be hitting 9th today. 273 average in a small sample size, only 11 at-bats. Already has an RBI, though, in his young campaign. The 0-1 for McNeil. That one going to be chopped right at Mondelez. He's been impenetrable today with the glove. Gets 1, gets 2. That's a double play. And they end the 3rd inning in style. The Kitchener Panthers, and particularly Jordan Mondelez, save for that one error, have looked almost completely uniform. Really haven't stumbled at any point. Besides, again, we just talked about that kind of weird misplay from Ansari.
Yeah, it didn't hurt them at all. And like I say, when you hit the ball like shortstop, that's a place where base hits go to die, man. That guy is so smooth out there. His transfer is good. You saw how quick that double play is. When we would work on double play balls, we work based on a 4-second interval, and so that basically from the time the ball is hit, put in play, you got 4 seconds to get it over to first base, and they were there in plenty of time. Great transfer to get it, and then a great relay by Towers at second base. That left foot forward, step on the base, receive the ball. He got it perfect throw, chest high, and you just take the left foot off the base, step toward first and release it. Those guys got strong enough arm to fire that off. Really good-looking double play by Kitchener there.
Well, as the world-famous beach floaty race begins here at Arnold Anderson Stadium, we'll take a quick word away. We're going to hear from Rawlings, and when we return, we'll talk a little bit about what we got going on the rest of the month here with the Brantford Red Sox. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hard line drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Rawlings. ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com, because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
And welcome back to Arnold Anderson Stadium. I'm live here as the Brantford Red Sox get ready to try to stop the bleeding a little bit here in the top of the fourth inning. That's Irvin's first pitch of the inning there to Mr. Rinta Osawa. Flew out in the second. He's back today for his second effort of the day. And you just saw the promo there for the All-Star Game in Hamilton happening later in July. We'll talk a little bit about that in just a moment as Osawa takes that for strike one right off the outside of the plate. Pardon me, strike two here to Osawa. Irvin to Osawa, the 0-2.
Nice.
And the three, quick strikeout there from Connor Irvin. He's back in the positive column. First strikeout since the second inning there, second of the day.
That's a nasty breaking ball. He threw it hard there and dropped it right in the bucket. No chance for Osawa.
Next up is AJ Carosis. He was the other gentleman who's been struck out so far in this one.
Same as last time, go to work on the breaking ball.
That one just wide, says Chris Long. Ball one. So Irvin had that rough third inning. He's doing well to get this one going with some urgency. That one low and in the dirt. Watt does a good job getting a hand under it for ball two. 56 pitches so far today for Irvin through 3 1/4 innings. Big swing and a big miss there for Carosis. First strike of the at-bat, 2-1. Next up is going to be Iyad Ansari, the gentleman who became our first base runner of the day with that walk, then run in that big third inning just a moment ago. Here's the 2-1. That one just low, just high enough, I should say, to find the zone. 2-2 now to Carosis.
Yeah, Carosis thought it was down, but Long's been pretty consistent on the bottom end there. Right back to the curveball here, I would think.
Irvin looking for strike three.
Yep. Oh.
No, Chris Long disagrees, and a lot of fans here live in Brantford taking exception with that one.
Yeah, they wanted that one.
Full count number 4 today. 1 out so far in the inning. Big pitch coming from Irvin. That one shot back foul right over our heads here. We'll keep the at-bat alive. Could we be seeing another Cassidy Watt at-bat here for Mr. AJ Carosis?
Well, we'll see. Good fastball in to set him up for the outside curveball if he goes back to it.
That one was the 60th pitch.
Oh.
61, just high, and a walk. Carosis, his third of the day. Last time he walked a batter, it was Ansari who's coming up now, and he later went on to get a run. So Irvin he's doing a pretty good job. I don't feel like he's really testing them too far outside the zone, but when he misses, it can cost him in these late counts.
Yeah, that's walking those hitters at the bottom of the lineup can come back to bite you, and that's exactly what happened last inning.
Here's Ansari. That first one will give it to him.
You know, we could question about who covered that stolen base at the end of the day, but if you don't walk the number 8 hitter to begin with, that line drive goes right out the shortstop. That's a can of corn, 2 out, nobody on.
Yeah, everybody kind of has to take accountability here when you have an inning like the third for the Red Sox. Here's the 0-1. That one just high, says Chris Long. 1-1 here as the base runner Carosis will take his place on first. John a little bit with Chris Ortega. Here's the 1-1. That one does find the zone. Good vertical movement. Fools
yeah,
Ansari.
That was interesting. That was he kind of pulled the string, as they say on that one. That was it didn't have as much velo to it. He's got a harder curveball. Threw that one a little softer.
1-2. Irvin looking for strikeout number 2. That one low and in the dirt. Watt doing a good job to get behind it.
He sure is. He's doing a great job. He's smothering everything in the dirt there. It gives the pitcher so much more confidence to throw the ball in the dirt when he knows his man is going to block it.
You don't want to put a base runner on here, Brian. You got Jamie Cabral, one of the highest stolen base totals in the league behind him. Could have another big base running inning for the Panthers. That one sent right at the shortstop. Good play from Lefebvre.
Easy.
Chance at the double. He gets it. Quicker double play. One of the quicker double plays you'll ever see. Steps right on second. Nice throw to first, and that'll end the top of the fourth. Well, looking ahead here, we alluded there to the All-Star game. We talked about that All-Star showdown going on in just a couple weeks in Hamilton. And I happen to be one of many, and I hope those of you watching at home that are big IBL fans will do their part in filling out their bracket for the All-Star game in just a few weeks. Talking a little bit about some of the Brantford Red Sox guys that are bright spots in this team that I think maybe deserve your call and maybe deserve your consideration for a vote. Lots of good players in the starting pitching position, a lot of guys that have been good, including guys here for Brantford that I don't think we're expecting to get the starting pitching call as many times as they have, particularly Aiden Armitage being one that comes to mind. He's been exceptional in his work, and he definitely deserves some consideration, but I think the obvious answer is the gentleman who's on the mound for today for your Brantford Red Sox, Connor Irvin. He won an IBL Player of the Week. He's just been truly exceptional. He's a fun guy to watch, and I know today hasn't started out the way he would be hoping for. Not getting many run support or any hit support. Currently hitless is the Brantford Red Sox as they come back up for the bottom of the fourth. But maybe think about Irvin as your player to watch for your All-Star voting. But one of the great things about the All-Star voting, or at least the process there on the IBL site, is they give you all the info you need, all the stats you could want. Do some outside research, though. See how long your player's been with the team. Maybe learn about some personalities you want to see in that big day in Hamilton in a few weeks. And then from the hitting positions, well, you can kind of take your pick of what you value when it comes to your Brantford Red Sox hitters. If you're a big old-timey average fan, well, Takioka's new to the league, only 51 at-bats, but he has been exceptional in what he's played. He would be a fun switch up from what you'd think is going to be a pretty power-heavy All-Star game. Lucas Bateman's been exceptional, Ethan Paulos as well, and maybe the best all-around hitter this season for the Red Sox. Christian Ortega is a standout. I can't remember if they're designating him at first or third, but I remember looking at his position category and thinking, man, he is the head and shoulders favorite in that category. So take an eye there. Go check out the voting for the IBL All-Star game happening in just a couple weeks. Check out the IBL site. Look up IBL All-Star. No matter where you search, you'll be sent the right way to vote for your favorite Brantford Red Sox. Brian Hoey stepped away here for just a moment, but I'll take you through the rest of the fourth inning. As here we go, back to the top of the order. McNeil to Paulos. That one sent right at the second baseman. He'll field it cleanly for the first out. Nice play there by Charlie Towers, making the easy play easy. And the very first pitch of the inning will be a ground out. And if you're the Brantford Red Sox, you only got 44 pitches on McNeil through 3 innings. That is not how you want to start off the top of the fourth. So here's Takioka taking his signature big steps, big swing. He's back. Second time today. He had one of his rare strikeouts on the season in the first inning. His 8th of the season to be exact. First pitch for McNeil, faked bunt, then got a strike. Not how as a manager you want that first pitch of the at-bat to go. Now 0-1. He's got Andrew Savage behind him. Second pitch is wide. That'll even the count for Takioka. Pretty standard, no shift out in the outfield. We've seen a couple teams look at that push-happy approach, do something different with their defense. They'll pull this one right at the second baseman. Towers will make his second easy play of the inning. Charlie Towers is doing what is expected of him out there at the second base spot defensively. 2 quick outs in the inning, both at the hands of Towers. Here's Andrew Savage, the third baseman. Again, we talk about it. He's only been with the team a couple weeks. He's looked exceptional in the efforts we've seen. Now 22 at-bats on the season so far for him. 8 hits, 3 RBIs, 3 walks in that time. He grounded out in the first inning, but a big sign from the Brantford management squad that he's getting the call at third in the order today. Almost got him on the elbow, but he gets a strike for his troubles. Strike 1. So 2 outs so far off those 2 quick ground outs. The 0-1's up high and high enough that Long will give the ball to Andrew Savage. 1-1 count now. Should his services be needed, Christian Ortega warming up there in the batter's circle. Here's the 1-1 for McNeil. That one just high, gonna go 2-1, and McNeil doing a pretty good job today, not putting too much up high in the zone. He's had a couple sliders, that hard late curve slider that has got away a couple times, but when he throws something without movement, it finds its mark. That one chopped over our heads, just clears the fence, and that'll be strike 2 in the ledger. 2-2-2 reads the scoreboard. McNeil, remember his day so far. He's got 2 strikeouts, no walks thus far. Hasn't found himself in too many hitter-friendly counts. Could end the inning with his 3rd strikeout here. McNeil puts it behind the batter. Dangerous for a bigger guy like Savage. Lucky he didn't get hit, and this will be a full count.
Yeah, he didn't even get a chance to react there, did he? Just all of a sudden the ball was behind him. He just sort of held his breath and hoped it missed him.
Full count, 2 outs. This is a big pitch for McNeil. Deals that one to Savage, puts it right past the pitcher. Any play at second, it'll be fielded to Mondelez. What a play as Mondelez gets the bounce off the bag and a textbook laser to first to retire the side. What a play by Jordan Mondelez.
What an amazing play there. I thought when it hit the base, I thought he had absolutely no chance to make that play. And wow, holy mackerel, can he ever play? I got to tell you, I apologize for pulling away there, but I have to announce the birth of my 3rd granddaughter, baby Jade, has arrived. Congratulations to my son Jimmy and his beautiful wife Katie, and wow, proud papa here. That's a granddaughter number 3, the 2nd one born this year, and it's a great day in the Holly household. I tell you what.
Congratulations, Brian.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so I'll be heading up the 401 to London after the game, and going to meet little Jade.
Well, that is awesome news. Beautiful day for it. It feels like everything's, all the fans here are in good spirits. Have only seen happy, smiling faces today. The drive didn't seem too bad. No bad weather like we've had for a couple of these Sunday games. Great vibes today on Sunday, June 29th. Hopefully the week will keep going. Canada Day again on Tuesday. Remember, that's a road game against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, and we'll have to get your granddaughter, plural in this case, for out for a game here soon. Now that you're here full time in Brantford, hopefully we'll see some appearances from the family.
Absolutely, yeah, that would be great. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit speechless. I still haven't had a chance to actually talk to my son, but we'll have a chance to get up there, like I say, up to London after the game and see how everybody's doing, and meet the young lady in person. Wow, what an exciting day. It's been a great year, I'm not going to lie. On April 24th, my 2nd granddaughter, Lily, was born to my younger son, Eric, and his beautiful wife, Kenzie, and now granddaughter number 3. And so there are some negatives to growing old, but one of the positives, getting to meet all these grandchildren, man. It's really a great time to be alive right now. So hallelujah.
And they've got your baseball genetics in them, so maybe 30 years. Next
knows?
IBL MVP could be coming from the Holly household.
Well, we never know.
Here's the first pitch at the top of the 5th here as Connor Irvin gives that one to Jamie Cabral. Didn't get a chance to play there in the 4th as the ground ball double play ended that inning before he could come in. But again, one of the best in the IBL in stolen bases. That one sent right at the second baseman, and Lucas Bateman makes the easiest catch he'll make all day.
Yeah, a little slap the opposite way there. He kind of overpowered him with the fastball.
So Jordan Mondelez, a guy that we've talked about his value on defense, a couple awesome catches and even better throws out there at shortstop, but he's got 2 singles. He's 2 for 2 on the day, and he's got a run as well. He's the guy Connor Irvin does not want to be facing for a 3rd time in only the top of the 5th with now 69 pitches.
It just proves the importance of getting that 9-hitter out.
Pitch 70 is off the bat, bunted, and right over our heads. That one carried quite a ways for strike 1.
It's about as far as a bunt is going to carry on a foul off, isn't it? Holy.
Just tells you how hard the velocity is from Irvin that ball could ricochet that far.
Definitely throwing high 80s.
Oh, he's taking a big stretch there. Not sure if Mondelez is in a little bit of discomfort, but a long time getting prepped here.
Probably want to stay with the hard stuff here.
Here's the 0-1. Mondelez is going to take another break there. Not sure if he's in discomfort, maybe an equipment problem with his right arm, whatever it is. Here's the 0-1. That one chopped wide and over our heads, back towards the parking lot. Quick 0-2 here, and Irvin's getting a couple strikes for free, not even needing to put him by Mondelez, a guy very hard to get a ball past.
He has certainly not lost any velo into the 5th inning here. He's still throwing real hard.
Here's the 0-2. Irvin looking for strikeout number 3. It's going to take another time here for Mondelez. I can't tell if it's a physical ailment or if it's an equipment issue.
Well, he's just that was a time thing. I think there was a discussion going on the pitch selection.
Oof, that one inside. A little bit of a dance move to keep out of the way of that one. Now 1-2 for Mondelez. That one sent right over the head of Bateman. Finds its way into the nice little gap in the outfield between the second baseman and the right fielder. That blooper will come down for the 3rd single of the day for Mondelez. Well,
that was a nice piece of hitting there. It was an inside fastball. He just inside-outed it and muscled it over the second baseman's head. Really nice piece.
So here's Peñalve, and we've talked about it a lot this season, Brian, where a lot of our starters have done a good job really relenting the storm from the start of the order for a lot of teams. A lot of teams don't hit well, and they're 1-5 against the Red Sox. Today, it's been the opposite. The end of the order, besides Cabral, who got in on an error, later scored, really haven't done much. But this top of the order, dangerous for Irvin to face a 3rd time around as that one goes in for strike 1 on Peñalve on the outside.
Yeah, you remember on our last broadcast, the pitching was Arbach, I think, that handled the top end of the Maple Leafs lineup pretty well, but the bottom of the order ate his lunch.
The 0-1. That one's right back at the pitcher. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
What a catch. Holy cow, Connor Irvin. I was terrified off the bat because that came at him like a rocket. He settles down Ortega in the crowd, but holy cow, that could have gone poorly, and instead is a double play.
Wow, and if it's a foot higher,
we are having a situation here.
We've got a situation, absolutely. So, fortunately, you make a catch and the life you save may be your own. What an incredible play that was.
Talk about stakes if you're Connor Irvin. Forget the game score. That one was the one he needed to make for his own personal safety, but that will end the top of the 5th. Finally, Brantford gets a break on defense. And I look at that 0 in the hits column, and it's surprising because they've had opportunities. They've been in close counts, I think 3 full counts to this point so far. The fact that you're still held hitless to this point, if you're the Brantford Red Sox, this is a worrying one against a team that we talked about all pregame, Brian, that you got to think you're giving your best shot to today.
Absolutely, and this is, second time around. He handled the top of the order the second time around really well last inning. But, I mean, he throws hard. He's got a live arm. The ball breaks a good 6-8 inches on that fastball. It's a tight, late-breaking slider, and he hasn't really used the changeup a whole lot today. He hasn't really needed to. He's just been boring guys in, boring the right-handers on the fastball, getting in on their hands, and then using the slider to get in on the hands of the lefties. And so, at the end of the day, now we've got a situation where they're going to have to start to get something going here, because his pitch count is not up, and you can just see, like we can see in the windup, in the warm-up, that fastball has got such life on it.
I think it speaks to kind of the same point you made earlier about Wilhelm's Alvarado a few weeks ago, where some of these pitchers that come in with an 0-1, 0-2 record, you haven't seen much of them. Their ERA could be touching almost 7. But some of these guys just come in with gas that makes you think you really can't look at the box score in small sample sizes for pitchers. You really got to look at their big picture, and especially the way they match up against teams. And for whatever reason, these guys that are, playing the Londons, the Wellens, are really finding nothing against those very talented batting lineups. They come here and they just deal, and the issues that show up at the box score don't tend to show up in the game.
The other thing you have to take into account is the park they play in. There's 2 parks specifically, Jack Couch in Kitchener, and in Toronto at Christie Pitts as well. Those 2 are what we call bandboxes. They're so easy to hit home runs. You could start in Kitchener and have 3 routine fly balls, the wind's blowing out, all 3 of them leave the yard. Next thing you know, you're down 5-0. Whereas those same 3 hits today will stay in the park.
First one goes by on Christian Ortega for a strike. And yeah, same reason you'll never see a Colorado Rockies pitcher make the Hall of Fame. Some teams just, you're coming in, you understand what you're working with, and your stats are going to take the hit. That's why often they don't value in terms of personnel pitchers, those teams with those smaller parks. Maybe Kitchener the same way, but they've had some decent pitching talent. Yadier Martinez has looked pretty good this year. So that one's going to go by for ball one. Now 1-1 to Christian Ortega.
But I can certainly remember when we went into the playoffs and we played London, you know, Yadier Martinez had a pattern going all year long. Yamichel Perez had a pattern going all year long. He threw a complete game at Welland, beat them. He threw a complete game at London and beat them. But he had trouble getting out of the fourth inning in Kitchener because those lazy fly balls were carrying out of the park. Those line drives that would be, you know, off the wall are going out of the park. And so it was really tough. So we had to set our pitching staff so that we had certain guys throwing. Our best pitchers couldn't throw at home. They had to throw on the road. When they threw on the road, they give us a great start.
That one sent right to the first baseman. Textbook catch made there by Iyad Ansari. And yeah, that was an at-bat that was weird. I think he got a little bit away with that call there from the first base umpire. Had a swing that looked like it just went around. They gave it to him. But Ortega couldn't quite get that ball going the right way on the well-barreled hit. But he finds the first baseman. Nice catch out there by Ansari. As here comes Matt Torreson. Had a ground out in the second inning. Makes his return here in the fifth. First one in for a strike. Matty Torreson, 11 strikeouts on the season to go along with only 3 walks. That one low and in the dirt. That's an easy one to take for ball one. Now even count here. McNeil's pitch count, I should say, up to 62 on the day. Has done so with only 2 strikeouts. Luckily, no walks for his leisure. Got 9 different players to ground out. Does he go around? Yes, he does. Doesn't matter. Down the center of the plate, says Chris Long, home plate umpire. That'll be a 1-2 to Matty Torreson. Behind him in the lineup, Cassidy Watts getting ready. Brantford looking to get on the board here. 1-2 for McNeil. That one's wide off the plate as well. He's trying to find a spot there in the bottom corner that he's now 0 for 2 in. This is now a 2-2 count. McNeil looking good through 5 innings of work. Still got that no-hitter going. That one chopped foul, back behind Torreson. Don't forget that 14 pitch at bat earlier from Cassidy Watt. Torreson would love to echo shades of that here. As the ball rolls behind the plate here at Arnold Anderson. Here's the 2-2. McNeil looking for punch out number 3. Won't find it. Chris Long says high and or outside. So here's another life for Matt Torreson. He's had a couple go his way, I think, on this at bat. Now full count, 1 out. You got to take advantage here, and he's been good in some clutch positions so far this year. Could be again here, although that one is going to carry a little bit too high. Center fielder gets under it. And the day for Osawa. He's got 2 opportunities to make nice catches. He did so on both. Heartbreak there for Torreson, but a good job getting it late in the count. At a certain point, I know Brian Holley and I talked about how valuable a long at-bat is here in the IBL, but at a certain point, when your team's down 3-0, you haven't recorded a hit through 5 innings, you got to find pay dirt. You got to find a little bit of grass here on these late counts, and Torreson unable to do so there. Here's Cassidy Watt. We talked about that legendary at-bat from earlier. That one goes in for strike 1. But this is how that first at-bat started. Later ended in 14 pitches. Let's see if he can, again, find shades of that again here. McNeil again with that outside low spot. Can't quite find it. Ball 1. 2 outs now here in the inning. Should he be needed? It's now Lucas Bateman in the batter's circle. That one does find a spot finally. That's in for strike 2. So McNeil's been doing some testing there in that low outside part of the zone. He finally finds his success in his experiment, the 1-2. That one sent right back at the foul pole. Oh, Lucas Bateman almost made the nice play to bring that one in with the bat behind the play here. 1-2.
Watch right on him timing-wise. You can always tell those ones that foul straight back that he's right on in the timing. That ball was up, fastball. He was handling it, so probably should go back to the slider here, I would think, if you want to get him. Oh, nice take.
Great take there. Widen off the plate, that same spot that McNeil's been trying to find. Watt saw that all the way. And this is now the 20th pitch that Cassidy Watt has taken from McNeil, and only 2 at-bats to start this game. That one set up and high, out potentially towards the first base line. No play for Ansari. That'll head out towards the parking lot. May have hit that same red van with a hole in it out in the first base parking lot.
It's a little further up. Actually, I think it's gone. I think he's pulled it out.
Oh, he pulled away?
Yep, there's a little bit of room there now.
Well, there's one less fan to watch IBL baseball.
Just watch out for that little red Dodge out there. Don't be hitting that one.
Off to get the windshield replaced. At least if the hitters put it right back through the same hole, you save yourself some damage. But here's the 2-2, 2 outs. Big pitch here. Chops that one right at the shortstop. No, Mondelez won't get the play. Fuji will try it. He'll make the throw successfully. Another nice textbook play from the infield, and this Kitchener Panthers infield has given them little to nothing to work with, save for that one error, and they still hold the Red Sox scoreless through 5.
Yeah, they're putting on a click on the infield, short of the one play by Ansari at first base. There has been a lot of slick stuff on the left side of the infield, making plays left, right, and center. I thought that was going to be a real tough play to make. It certainly, I'm not sure the shortstop could have made that play. So a nice play by Fuji cutting across, and his momentum taking him toward first base, made a good, strong, accurate throw, got him in plenty of time. So a good at-bat by Watt, another extended at-bat there, had, 6 or 7 pitches again. So, if the rest of the lineup was working those at-bats like Watt is, then it might be a different story, that's for sure. So, anyways, I apologize for another absence there. I finally got to talk to my son, Jade Summer, born 6 pounds, 8 ounces at 12:49 this afternoon. And so it was a long go, though. They were at it for almost 30 hours. So I'm told I don't get to go see her today. I got to wait till the morning. So, so much for that. We'll move ahead with the ball game and let them get their rest, and we'll go see them in the morning.
Well, something to look forward to there for you. As the inflatable ball battle continues here, never really thought about it till this moment. Hopefully we got waivers for this, because there are some big hits being dished out here in the battle. I don't know if you can see it on the corner of your screen. Takes a full roll, the young gentleman in the ball closest to me. But thinking big picture, let's take a look at your out-of-town scores. Got it pulled up here for you, Brian, if you want to walk us through what we got elsewhere in the IBL today.
Well, we've got Toronto at London, and the Majors are hanging on to a 4-3 lead. They had a 4-1 lead early on in the day. And up the road in Hamilton, it's 3-0 for the Baycats in the top of the 5th. And in Chatham, it's a 2-2 tie, also in the 5th inning. So lots of action going on today. It's a busy Sunday in the IBL, as always. And I believe it's going to be Junior Ibarra leading off for Kitchener. And so this is another big inning for Connor Irvin to get through to try and keep that lead at 3. And give his team a chance to come back. Now, the one thing that we've made very clear is that the soft underbelly of this Kitchener team is that bullpen. And so if you could have more at-bat of the Kitchener team as well, they're having trouble with their bullpen. And so, if you have more at-bats like Watt has had over the last couple of at-bats, then you'll be able to get that pitch count up, try and get into the bullpen in the 7th or 8th inning.
Yeah, Cassidy Watt may take McNeil out an entire inning early today if he doesn't end up carrying through on the current no-hitter. I barely want to say the word, but the 0-1 here goes by on Ibarra, and Urban's got relief behind him warming up. That one fouled
in fairness, it's the other team. We can go ahead.
That's true.
We can go ahead and say it all we want. You know
That's
what I
true.
mean?
Great no-hitter so far here for Owen McNeil. Hope he carries it. Best of luck to him.
Kitchener fans won't like us, but we're a Brantford production after all, aren't we?
That one sent high and over the head of the third baseman Savage. He calls for it well. Almost missed it at the end, but he does get a glove under it. Good job. And I know stuff like this often gets overshadowed in other leagues, but Brian, the fact that he called that one right away, there was no disbursement, no players coming in at the end. He called that one early, and we've seen a couple plays like that, not just from Brantford, but from the entire IBL. Teams are having a hard time with those infield pop-ups this year. He played that nicely. They
are not easy, especially when you got a guy like Irvin who's throwing near 90, and a big strong guy like big bunt.
Big blooper here for Irvin. Can he get that one to first? He can. Nice throw there from Connor Irvin. Again, he's not getting much support. He's held them to 3 runs, and he is keeping that number at 3 with nice little plays like that.
Well, there's a clinic on how to play your position if you're a pitcher. He got to the ball, set his feet, turned and fired with a strike to first base. A lot of pitchers will hurry that throw. They'll throw from a not accurate position. It's important to square your shoulders up, get your feet underneath you, and step toward the base that you're throwing to.
That one up high on Yosuke Fuji, who returns for the third time today. Walked in the second, grounded out in the third, and that was Charlie Towers, the gentleman who grounded out on his first pitch of the at-bat. That one now low, but in the zone for Fuji, 1-1. Just a note there for all those hitters on opposing teams. I won't get time to talk about you if you put a ground ball in play for the first hit. So let's settle in here. That one is going to go by for another strike. Now 1-2 here to Yosuke Fuji. Again, walked in the second inning. Hasn't scored yet today.
Sorry, Marshall. Yeah, I don't think he liked that call. I think he thought that was low.
The 1-2 from Irvin. Ooh, just wide, says Chris Long. That could have ended the inning. And
maybe a bit up, too.
Yeah, it's interesting. I haven't quite picked where he's putting that high part of the zone, but it's looked pretty consistent, the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Connor Irvin, third strikeout on the day, sits him down in between that and that nice throw a play ago. That was a textbook inning from a guy who's now in 6 innings of work, currently battling a guy on a no-hitter. So,
well, it was especially important since from the last inning when he got his heart started again after getting that line drive right into his belly. You know, I think they put him onto the Mikey just to recover him a little bit. So he's settling in nicely. He seems to. The one thing I've noticed about Irvin is that he seems to get stronger as the game goes on.
Well, here we go. Owen McNeil, he'll come back up here. Sixth inning of the day for him. Hit through 5, has that one team error earlier on in the day. And I believe no walks on the ledger so far. So it's just that error, which is almost more heartbreaking if you're Owen McNeil.
Well, if it ends up going that way, yeah, that error could be something that spoils something really special, to be honest with you. But
and Sari's looked good. It was just that misplay back in the third inning to Vayu. It's really been the only sign of life here from the Brantford Red Sox
and they
offense.
haven't really hit him that hard either. Like, I mean, it's not like you're thinking about a frozen rope. A couple of nice plays in the infield, but other than that, and the one base runner they did get on, they doubled him off about 2 pitches later. So
yeah, Penalve caught one in the second, and then it was Osawa in the 5th inning that we just saw had 2 quick catches for flyouts. But other than that, yeah, the infield is just. The execution's been textbook, and we've talked a lot about it on this season, Brian, and I talked about it earlier, how, Schmarter leaving the team, that's some defensive upside. That's some defensive pop that you're taking out of the lineup. Lefebvre's look good. I don't want to take anything away from him, but that is a question I kind of have was, in terms of management style for defense, those guys that make those big splashy plays, can you truly kind of Moneyball style make up for that production, but defensively, if your team of less athletic, less able defenders is just more well-informed, it is more maybe in sync than a defense that's made of good pieces that can't quite work together?
Well, it's a good point that you're making, and I guess the answer would be that you have to really get them to gel. If you keep changing the pieces defensively, it's tough to get a team to gel and play together as a team defensively, as we've seen the infield for Kitchener do this afternoon. But at the end of the day, you're talking about that WAR stat, wins above replacement, and what we mean by that is if you have to add in everything, the hitting, the base running, the defensive side of it. So, they talk about defensive runs saved as a stat now in the major leagues, and so you look at it and say, okay, so maybe defensively they give up one more run, but he drives in 2, and so that you're still better off as a team. So when you look at the bigger picture over a larger sample size of more games, then you can say whether or not they're better off. But at the end of the day, if Lefebvre is giving them decent to good defense and he's hitting, they're probably better off with Lefebvre than they are with Schmarber.
Well, Runta Asawa now takes the lead among Kitchener Panthers hitters with catches, with 2, as the textbook catch is made there on Lucas Bateman, who flies out to open up the bottom of the 6th. Jeremy Vayu comes back. He's the only guy to sit on base today for the Brantford Red Sox, and he did so on that error from Ansari we talked about earlier. Currently the only hole in what would be, to this point, a perfect game is instead just a no-hitter, as Vayu sees that one go by for strike 1.
And it was a good inside-out swing.
McNeil, that one's going to be chopped high and over our heads. Giving him good velocity. Vayu can't quite time it up. That'll be strike 2.
He's looked comfortable up there in his 2 at-bats.
It's kind of fun. Vayu there in that last gap between innings was doing the YMCA with the crowd here at Arnold Anderson. So.
Yeah, he got him fired up. Some young lady in front of us won I think a free pizza or something.
Oh, up and in the almost in the face of Jeremy Vayu. 1-2 now. Lucas Lefebvre up behind him. He'll try to take his second cuts today. He grounded it into a double play earlier, so he'll look to get on the board for the Red Sox. That one high, not quite as close to the face of Vayu. He's now 2-2. Here's the 2-2. That one sent right up in the air, right over the head of Charlie Towers, the second baseman. Vayu will try to leg it out, but to no avail as Towers will make the textbook catch there. Keep the no-hitter going. So here's Lucas Lefebvre, we just talked about. He's 0 for 1 today with the ground ball double play. And to this point of the season for him, again, 273 average. That's an 11 at-bats. That's good for 3 hits and an RBI. 2 strikeouts, no walks. Did get a stolen base in one of those 3 appearances on base thus far this year.
So in the end, like I say, Lefebvre's contributing offensively, which is exactly what they were looking for.
Oh, hits him directly. Lucas Lefebvre will get on base and look for stolen base 2 of the season as that first pitch right in his back.
Well, in a weird sort of way, Ansari's the happiest guy in the park because now his error isn't the only blight on the pitching performance.
Better to be on the pitcher than a fielder in that situation. I guess depends who you ask, but.
Well, now we'll see what it looks like third time around. He's really been busting. These first 2 guys up, Paulus and Takioka, are right on the inside. You know, you don't like to have the pitcher make an adjustment, but he's really been busting them in.
Oh, that one well wide off the plate. Didn't even, he stepped back from that one halfway to the mound. Ethan Palos did. That's 1-0. Pop out and a ground out the day so far for Palos. Hitting .345 on the season. Runner on first. That one just in the zone on the outside of the plate. Palos taking a little bit of exception to it. 1-1. A lot of disagreement here from the Brantford Red Sox offense today.
Well, they're getting a little frustrated. That happens when you're not getting any hits. You know, it seems like every call is going against you.
Oh, that one low and in the dirt. Palos will get a ball there for 2-1. Lefebvre's still on base after that HBP last AB. And it's Rene Takioka. Good guy to see on the batter's circle. He'll hit next. Should he be needed with 2 outs in the inning. Oh, that one will be chopped right at Mondelez. Should have an easy throw. Yes, he does. Jordan Mondelez stays perfect through the day on defense as they'll retire the bottom of the 6th. McNeil, now 2/3 of the way through, holds them still hitless.
Yeah, pretty impressive performance. The at-bat with Lefebvre. Excuse me. Vayu. He got up on him 0-2, and then 2 pitches were up high. And the first sign you look for in a pitcher that's tiring is that the pitches tend to elevate more.
Right.
Whether you're just the legs are driving through and the arms falling behind, or you're not getting the drive, and it causes you to release a little closer to your head instead of out front. But after those 2, he got a good low slider and got the out, got the pop up. You know, the one got away from him when he hit Lefebvre, but other than that, he looked real good in the at-bat against Paulus. So, you know, he doesn't seem to be flagging at all. I'm not sure of his pitch count. I don't think it's real high just yet. But you got to think that they'll let him go. As long as he keeps with that 0 on the board there, you imagine they'll let him go as long as he's able. So,
let's hear a quick word from a few of our partners. We're going to be back in just a moment for the top of the 7th.
Hard line drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Rollins.
And welcome back as that first one goes high and over the head of our newest batter here for the Kitchener Panthers. Connor Irvin returns to the mound here in the top of the 7th inning to face Runta Osawa. Fly out and a strike today. That one sent right at Savage. Whoa! He gets him. Holy cow, Ortega. May need to consider a late career in basketball. That was quite the hop to go up and get that one from Savage. Brings it down for the out. Nice play.
And equally as smooth was the fact that he stretched out that toe with that big foot of his and got it back down just in time. That's why you get the throw over there as early as possible in case it's not quite accurate. Pulls your guy off the base, gives him a chance to readjust, get back on the base before the runner shows up. Nice play at first by Ortega.
Now Irvin will face A.J. Carosas for the 3rd time today. A strikeout and a walk, his ledger so far. He returns now in the 7th. So that one goes by for strike 1. Big swing and a miss from Carosas. Gets himself down 0-2, and Irvin hasn't found himself an account this favorable in a while.
Well, one thing that's really helpful here is that you've been attacking him with breaking balls all along. You started him off with the breaking ball, and so he slowed his bat down. You fire a fastball and got it past him.
That one hit pretty well by Carosas. Tracking it is Paulos. It'll come down into the glove, and pitch number 90 for Irvin is a flyout for Carosas. Ayad Ansari, the gentleman who prior to that earlier mistake from McNeil was the only thing holding the team, his Panthers, from a no-hitter. It was since made up for, and Ansari has got a run of his own. He's part of the reason they're up 3-0 to begin with. So a walk and then a ground-out double play, but a run in his day so far. I went right back past the pitcher. Won't be fielded as cleanly that time. Wasn't quite in Irvin's range, and that will go by for the first single, first hit the Panthers have had in a while. And Ansari is on first base.
Yeah, he got the fastball up a little bit there, and it hung up, and nice piece of hitting, getting it over the pitcher's head and out into center field. So they have been really, really aggressive on the bases for what little they've gotten. I mean, let's face it. I mean, there haven't been a lot of base runners for either team. They got all 3 of the runs in the 3rd or 4th inning. And so, it wouldn't surprise me if they go aggressive again here, especially with 2 out.
Yeah, but my count, that was the 5th hit of the day for either team. That one missed by Cabral. Low, Watt doing a good job to get behind it. Ready for a play. No play happens.
Now, I say I wouldn't be surprised. I personally wouldn't do it. The nice thing about this situation, the 9-hitter, if he doesn't get a hit, you've got the top of the order coming up next inning. If he does get a hit, you've got 2 on for the top of the order. So I wouldn't run personally, but they've been real aggressive thus far.
Not a bad idea to test Irvin. A little bit of movement. Won't go. Big swing and a miss for Cabral once again. Watt needs to go retrieve the ball that gets away from him, but he will do so. Now 0-2 here to Jamie Cabral. An error led to a run for him earlier on in the 3rd that he lined out in the 5th. 2 outs in the inning could end the top of the 7th. And a day that's been great for Irvin, but he's getting a little overshadowed a little bit in that pitching matchup. He'd like a strikeout here. Runner goes. Watt's got him. Yes, he does. He will hold on to it. Cassidy Watt. Rarely will you see a catcher beat a runner by that much. Had him by a couple steps. Nice throw.
Yeah, he sure did. And that's a little thing that you do with 2 strikes on a hitter with 2 out. You send the runner. That way, if he gets thrown out, the count resets and he gets to go back to a 0-0 count in the 8th inning. So 7th inning stretch here. And it's getting late now for the Red Sox. A couple of hits, see if we can get some action going here. I found out that McNeil is at 85 pitches. And so your job right now, as the order gets turned over one more time, you really got to work on extending the every at-bat to try and get as many pitches in. Get him up over 100 as soon as you can to see if you can get him out, because he's just been absolutely dominant. That fastball has been real live, mixing in the slider and a very occasional changeup.
Well, here we go. 7th inning of work for Owen McNeil as the take me out to the ball game here at Arnold Anderson comes to a close. Had a comment there in the YouTube chat. First game I've ever seen YouTube chat on my side here in the commentary booth. We had a question that I think we touched on, I think your first game, Brian, and it's one that I asked and I think is pretty common sense at this point. But do pitchers know at this point, this far in a game, they're on a no-hitter?
Every pitcher knows, absolutely. And you can bet if you go over to that dugout, there's nobody talking to that guy. That's been a tradition as old as the hills, where that pitcher coming off in the middle of a no-hitter, he'll go sit down and nobody will even talk to him. Nobody will look at him, nothing. And so the pitchers know. The pitchers 100% know.
It's a great point to clarify, though. I asked about it early in the season just because, you're so caught up in your execution in the little things. I think the IBL, if you're a good defense like we've seen Brantford is so far, there's just so much you're considering. There's so many situations you want to be aware of through the game, and sometimes I think teams have that team first mentality, especially in a game as big as today for the Panthers. I don't think we came out of today thinking a pitcher would be the one stealing the show, but McNeil has done so, and again, 4.8 ERA coming into today. Pretty good, but not one of the best in the IBL, an 0-1 record, and he has looked anything but that stat line today. He's been exceptional.
Well, I can tell you that I've had 2 no-hitters in the last, however many, in 10 months. In August last year at Provincials, the first game we played in Provincials, I had a lefty throw a no-hitter. I'll touch on that bunt in a minute, but my lefty threw a no-hitter in the first game of Provincial Championships, and by the 5th inning, yeah, we all knew nobody was talking to him. Guys were absolutely flat out diving for every ball, every opportunity they had to make it.
Yeah.
We had another one earlier this month at the end of May where 2 pitchers combined for a no-hitter at a tournament in Mississauga. Both of those no-hitters were 7-inning jobs, though, and not 9-inning ones like McNeil is looking for here. So, like I said, in both those cases, pitcher comes back to the dugout and everybody treats him like he's diseased. They don't even want to get anywhere near him, man.
Well, we ought to practice with that with COVID, so that's going to be an effective strategy there to keep the streak going. 2-1 here to Takioka. He's taken 2 balls, then a strike since last we saw him, and he is probably the biggest threat to the no-hitter. He'll try the bunt. Won't get it. That'll be 2-2, and Takioka, if I'm McNeil, is the guy I'm most worried about breaking up my perfect day.
Now, I can't speak to this level, but I do know that for example, in the major leagues, when you're this deep into a no-hitter, the bunting is considered bad manners.
Bad
okay,
form,
so... You know, sometimes I'm not sure it'll be affected at this level, but
it's a great point as that one comes inside for ball 3. Takioka didn't even take a second look at it. Full count here.
The other team generally doesn't take too kindly to a guy trying to bunt his way out of a no-hitter.
Got to think you probably lean pitching outside here if you're McNeil. You're not in a perfect game. You're on a no-hitter. You can give up a walk. Doesn't do so there. That one's down towards left field. Comes down, won't track it down. The no-hitter comes to a close, and Takioka's in on second. The home crowd, I know it's not what the Kitchener fans on the road want to see, but if you're a Brantford Red Sox fan, Takioka doing what he needed to do there for the double.
Having said that, you got to tip your cap to McNeil, who's just throwing a beauty here, and you know, at the end of the day, making it to the 7th inning without giving up a hit. And, you know, this may be a last-place club, but it's not a last-place offense. This is a good hitting lineup. And so now your 3rd time around the order, we'll see what happens. That was a good at bat, was a 5 or 6 pitch at bat. So this is pitch number, I think, 91 or 92 for McNeil. So the bullpen is just now starting. There's nobody throwing, but there's just guys getting up and stretching out a little bit as he gets up to 100 pitches on what is turning into a kind of a hot day.
Those push line drives tend to come down earlier, and that one did just in front of Jamie Cabral as that one's popped up and fouled. It's 3rd base line. The catcher, Ibarra, might try at it. The Fuji will make the play, will record the out, but that's what I was talking about a moment ago, Brian. A little bit of miscommunication there.
Well, McNeil got away with one there. That he hung that slider, and that was a huge swing, and you could just see the look of disgust
Andrew Savage there, yeah.
on Savage's face, because he absolutely hung that slider and he took a mammoth swing at it. So bad luck for Savage, the fact that he really stepped into that one, but just missed it by a little bit. So Ortega had a pretty good AB last time. He held off on a high outside 2-strike pitch and then hit a rope out to first base on the next pitch. So 3rd time around, and it had a good at bat last time. So it'd be interesting here.
I want to go by for strike 1 to Ortega, and the first runner in scoring position all day for the Brantford Red Sox. Ortega, the guy going to try to take advantage with Cassidy Watt 2 spots away. Matt Torres in on deck.
Yeah, he absolutely spit on that middle fastball. He must be sitting breaking ball, I'm thinking.
Let's see what McNeil does here. 0-1, having just broke up the no-hitter. That one sent right back at the netting and over the head of Torres in the batter's box. 0-2. 1 out. Remember Takioka on second base.
Sorry, Marshall. That was another good pass there. They're getting some good swings 3rd time around.
What do you think he's going to be looking for here on 0-2?
Well, and it's just so important to score this 1 run just to get on the board and knock it down to a 2-run lead if you only get that 1 run.
That one going to be sent up and foul. Ibarra took the mask off, but didn't bother going to get it. That'll go foul. Torreson's a nice guy to have here in the on-deck circle, whether this does record a hit for Ortega or not. He's been great in these clutch scenarios this year. Had that big home run on Father's Day. He's been good in some
Yeah, he's got the big power,
spots.
doesn't he? And he can have a big day. But he had 4 hits, I think he had that day.
Yeah, almost had the cycle there, just 2 singles instead of the triple in that one. That one blooped over towards the left field area. Cabral going to range for that, so will Mondelez. Mondelez will make the catch, and Takioka will check back up, stay at second.
I tell you what, that Mondelez just didn't get to that. He just spins and fires the seed to second base, and if you were at all sluggish getting back to second to tag up Takioka, I'm talking about, he'd have got doubled off there, and that would have been one of the plays of the year, to be honest.
These Kitchener Panthers, not a great statistical hitting team on the team scale, but they got some individuals that just have so much value there in that infield on offense and defense. Mondelez and Penalve out there right field come to mind. So here we go, Takioka on second. Torreson up here as that one goes wide for ball 1.
I don't know, it just doesn't seem that he's got the same kind of zip on the fastball as he did a couple innings ago. Like I say, he's up around pitch. He's right around 100 pitches now, and that's generally where you start to flag a little bit.
Bit of an emotional letdown, too, you got to think. That one wide and low. Ball 2 for Torres and 2-0 now. Big spot for him. I've talked about that Father's Day home run. He's had a couple other games where when he's needed in big moments, he comes through, and very few bigger moments than this one in a game that is so pivotal in the head-to-head against Kitchener. That one's wide too, 3-0. Hitters count, whether he swings in an easy one here or walks, crucial for Brantford either way.
Down 3 with only 1 runner on. If there were 2 on, with his opportunity to tie the game, maybe give him the green light, but I can't see it here.
3-0. That one's high for ball walk for Matt Torreson. Big moment to get the first walk of the day, and McNeil, he's now had that no-hitter given up. First walk, he's starting to go back the other way in what has been an awesome day. And Cassidy Watts up here, and again, he's a guy that I want to see a little bit more in the average column. He's a guy that's hitting really favorable spots in the lineup this season. Hasn't quite had the hitting consistency maybe to stay there, but his power, his pop is huge. He's had a couple home runs recently. When he connects with that baseball, he launches it, and that's what Brantford wants right now.
Yeah, now you've got the tying run at the plate, and they're going to have a little chat here. Late arriving manager visit. Probably just want to go out and have a chat. Now the bullpen is throwing for Kitchener. I can't tell who that is, but it wouldn't surprise me. I don't think Yadi Martinez has thrown this weekend, so he should be available for them if he's healthy. And he'd be a good option for them coming out of the bullpen, that's for sure.
It's starting to get warm out there. Brian, it's hot to the point that I left my phone out in front of me on the ledge here, and it's now telling me it's too hot to use. So it's a toasty one out here at Arnold Anderson Stadium. Here he comes, Cassidy Watt.
This is a real interesting at bat. Like I say, just lost a little bit of snap to that fastball.
Runners on first and second. That one set up and high over Mondelez. Can he come down with it? Yes, he can. Inning over. 2 runners left on base, and Jordan Mondelez, when the ball goes over his head, it's as good as out.
Agreed, and that's unfortunate because Torreson got a pretty good pitch to hit.
Well, as we get set and ready, we'll see if we see Irvin again. I think we do have a reliever coming in here. It looks like a new face. We'll get you an ID as soon as we have it here. I think that's it's Colby Klepper. It is number 16, Colby Klepper, who has been one of our best arms, and that's becoming a wider range of players. Earlier this season, best reliever was not the most prestigious award in the world for this Red Sox team. Now has been. De La Cruz has been so good, and Klepper has been consistent. I think you saw him, Brian, in your first game a few weeks ago against Kitchener. We'll see him again today.
Yeah, he didn't have a particularly good day, but he throws hard. He's got a live arm. He's got a good curveball. And so right now it's just a situation where I think it's 4, 5, 6 up, should be Towers leading off the inning. And so you got to keep it at 3. You know what I mean? So number 1, throw strikes. Number 2, go right at hitters and make sure that you get the first guy out. Towers is a good hitter, but a guy that you can go at and attack, and he's got enough velo that he can make that happen. So.
Yeah, we may see Towers this inning. It's actually going to be Jamie Cabral, who got interrupted last time from the bottom of the order. Had the pick off in front of him. So he'll come back up to start off this one. But then we see Mondelez and Penalve again. And I'm at least glad. Irvin did, I think, actually a really good job today. I don't want his effort to get overshadowed by how good McNeil was on the other side. The ledger today in the end is going to be 3 strikeouts for Irvin, 3 walks, so not the ratio you want on that side. Did a good job to limit hits, though, and especially hard hit balls like we mentioned earlier, Brian. But this is a good situation, I think, for Klepper to come in. Those guys are about to come up for the 4th time, especially Mondelez and Penalve. Klepper's something different. He brings a different release. He brings a lot of power. I think he's the kind of reliever, the profile that once he gets by Cabral, you're either going to see a quick inning, good strikeouts, could get on the board with a couple Ks, but if he gets hit, it could be a no-doubter. I'm a little bit worried here with Mondelez and Penalve and how great they've looked in the last couple games.
Absolutely, and so the other thing too is that if you're able to get the first man out, like I say, this is the really important thing, is to get Cabral. You got to get the first guy out here.
Especially such a speed threat, eight stolen bases on the year.
Well, and not just that, but you got 2 such good hitters in behind. You got to make sure there's nobody up in front of them so that you can afford to give up a hit or 2 and not have it cost the run.
So here we go, Klepper taking a sec. Squatting down, getting set. Here comes Cabral. Remember, had that at-bat in the 7th interrupted by the successful pickoff by Cassidy Watt. So this will be Klepper's first pitch of the day in the top of the 8th. That one fouled off and over our heads. Timed it up well, but not enough contact on the barrel.
Savage in a little bit here, just outside the edge of the grass in case Cabral decides to bunt, which would be a smart thing to do, especially with Klepper. Throws hard, so it'd be a good time to bring the third baseman in, try and take that bunt away.
Savage playing a little bit in. No major shift by the defense. That one in for strike on the bottom corner there. Klepper doing a good job to get ahead early in the count.
And now you can back off with 2 strikes.
Remember Cabral with the stick. He's hitting .219 this year. 7 hits, 7 runs. No homers before ribeyes early on in the season. Allen chop back behind him as well. It keeps the at-bat going. Still 0-2.
Mixed in the slider there. You've got him in swing mode, so you've got 2 options. Fastball up or go back to the slider down. Personally, I think I'd prefer the fastball up, but we'll see what they want to do.
Chance at a strikeout for Klepper. Gets it. Big swing from Cabral on a ball that I got to admit, Brian, I never thought really was coming back. Looked like he was just trying to get something in play there in a bad game.
Yeah, not really a competitive pitch, but he had, like I say, he had him in swing mode. And when you're in swing mode, basically start anything close and they'll offer up at it. So great job by Klepper to get the first guy ahead of the top of the order.
Yordan Mondelez, perfect 3 for 3, not just in hits, but in singles. Single in the 1st, 3rd, and 5th. Had a run on that middle one in the 3rd inning. Showed bunt, got a strike, 0-1, and Colby Klepper. No balls yet in the ledger for him. Mondelez will be followed up by Penalve, and should he be needed, Junior Ibarra will come up for the 4th time today. A little bit of chatter, and then time taken by Mondelez. The 0-1, Klepper just taking a moment here.
Each of the last 2 hits have been on pitches that were up in the zone. I've got to keep the ball down here.
That one's low enough that it was fouled off and back behind him. 0-2 to Mondelez now. Taking a look at the crowd here at Arnold Anderson.
Watt's calling a very good game here. One would think that maybe you want to go with that same kind of outside slider that they got Cabral with. Might be a good start. At the very least, get him to hit it off the end of the bat or off his front foot.
Very wide off the plate is Watt. That one chop's going to go right to Lefebvre. Good chance at a play here, and he'll make it. Lucas Lefebvre coming in, doing what he needs to do on defense, and that's what the management wants to see from him in that replacement role for Schmarter.
And great execution from Klepper there. He, I like to tell you how smart he is by listening to me, but at the end of the day, Watt knew exactly where to go with that pitch. Right-handed hitter. He's got a good hard slider. and he went outside, got it off the end of the bat, and easy out there. So you did exactly what you need to do. You got the first two guys out ahead of the league's leading hitter.
And our player to watch for Kitchener, Yosvani Penalve, back up here. Watch that one go by wide for ball one. And that's, I think, an underrated element, Brian, of what Cassidy Watt getting that full-time catcher spot that we were kind of up in the air with in Brantford at the start of the year. That's where it's valuable, is now he's played with almost every reliever, if not every reliever in the bullpen at some point this year. Got a good rapport through anybody that could come in to pitch.
It's very important to have a good rapport with all the pitchers. You got to get to know them. He's new in, so he's got to get to know everybody. Now that you've caught everybody a couple or three times, it makes things a lot easier. You know the strengths and weaknesses of your pitcher, and you play to them, obviously.
The 2-0 finds the zone, gets it back in his column. 2-1 here for Klepper.
Might have got a call there, got the outside corner.
That's a big result here against a very strong hitter that would be down 3-0 in the other case.
Yeah, Klepper looks really good today. Keep hammering that slider down and in, I would think.
Let's see what the heat does to him here. 2-1. That one chopped right at the first baseman, Chris Ortega. Fields it cleanly. That'll bring the top of the eighth to an end and gives the Brantford Red Sox offense another chance to go to work and two more opportunities, should they not tie this one, to try to get the lead here against the Kitchener Panthers team that, as we've mentioned all day, they intensely need to beat today.
Good inning there defensively for Cassidy Watt. Now he gets to lead off this inning. You have to wonder maybe if he gets on, if they're going to think about the possibility of running for him here. They can move Savage behind the plate.
Well, let's take a break here for the last time today very quickly. We're going to step away here for just a moment on IBL Brantford Red Sox YouTube. We'll be back in just a second. We'll go all the way straight through from that point through to the rest of the day.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com, because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
And welcome back here at Arnold Anderson Stadium. New face on the mound here as the Kitchener Panthers will bring somebody new in relief as they try to close out the Brantford Red Sox in a game that only recently featured a hit for the home side. It is currently a big 3-0 lead and an ever-important battle between Brantford and Kitchener. We'll get you an ID on our new face in just a moment.
Well, yeah, it's interesting that now that he's up over 100 pitches and lost a no-hitter, and I mean, what can you say about the performance by McNeil? 7 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, a hit by pitch to be exact, 1 on by an error. He was only 2 batters over the minimum. Pretty impressive display. That's Garcia in pitching now.
We'll get you some information on Garcia, the new face here in the bullpen for the Kitchener Panthers, who will relieve McNeil and what was almost a no-hitter. Undoubtedly been the most valuable player today. Jordan Mondale there on the offensive side. He's got his hat in contention for that one as well. But here comes Lucas Bateman at an all-important spot here. That one inside, right down the zone. A little bit of movement towards the batter for strike 1. And Lucas Bateman's a guy that formerly hit in the 3 spot this year, has dropped down to the 7. But the reason he was up so high before is for strong hitting, lots of singles and doubles in big moments like this. One wide off the plate for ball number 1. 1-1 count to Lucas Bateman, who's 0-2 on the day. So Garcia comes in here. First reliever for Kitchener today. He finds the zone on that one, doing a good job picking the corners here. 1-2.
Oh, we got a call there, I think. Chris Long's done a good job behind the plate today. They always used to say, you've done a good job when both teams hate you.
Here's the 1-2. That one blooped lightly. Mondale kind of steps back on it to make the play and does so to good avail. He'll get that one to first base, and he did exactly what you said you don't want to do, Brian, kind of step back on a bounce, but the way he's been fielding today, I have no reason to question his decision-making.
Well, his level of calm when he fields a ground ball, you could just see those loose hands. He couldn't get to the short hop, so he just froze and let the ball, and he almost caught that in his bare hand, to be honest with you. So just another silky smooth play.
Here's Jeremy Veilleux, back up for the third time today. That one chopped foul down the third base line. Remember, he was the first base runner of the day, but did so on an error, and what first broke up the perfect game for McNeil. Kept the no-hitter alive, and then Veilleux popped up in the sixth. He's got Lucas Lefebvre behind him. Oh, can't catch that one for Ibarra, as that one will roll away on him. A rare misplay from the Panthers catcher.
I was going to say, he may have gotten a call there if he squeezed that.
He's going to get the strike on our scoreboard. I didn't actually catch how long rang that one up.
No, it's 1-1.
1-1, alrighty. That one right down the middle. Veilleux, I think, thought it was a little high. I don't think you're in a position to be relying on calls from the catcher, or from the home plate umpire, I should say, if you're Veilleux. Go for a big swing on 1-2. That one just barely too high. Really nice movement on that one from Garcia.
Yeah, you'll see how he lifts the leg and tries to hold it. He's messing with the timing of the hitter.
Like somewhat rare you see that from a reliever. Garcia really trying to play with him there. That one down in the dirt for a full count. So 3-2 to Veilleux. Biggest opportunity of the day for him. Remember, he flew out, or popped up earlier, I should say. Hasn't really had runners in scoring position at any point, doesn't here. That one's wide for ball number 4. He'll walk today and get on base for the second time. Did so on an error and a walk. Not the way Jeremy Veilleux would like to do, but you got to get on first base however you can in games this close.
Absolutely, and that's the kind of pitch that gives the manager indigestion. If you're going to throw a breaking ball at 3-2, it better be for a strike with a 3-run lead in the 8th inning. Otherwise, just throw the fastball and make him put the ball in play. Keeping in mind, that's an 8-hole hitter, you know what I mean? It's not like you're trying to dance around the top of the order here. So, and then I was just going to say probably a pinch runner for Veilleux.
That's Brody Black coming in. Number 4 is the usual right fielder. Well, you know he's got wheels because he tracks balls out well in the outfield there. He's got an intimate relationship with that right field fence. He's been making plays over it all season. So
he was wearing that right field fence, as I recall, in the Toronto game.
That's absolutely right.
Was it Moreno hit one out there right before his home run?
First pitch, first strike in there on Lefebvre. He grounded into a double play in the 3rd inning, had runners in scoring position in that opportunity, and then got hit by a pitch in the 6th inning. He's got Veilleux on first base, replacing Schmarter the last couple games. Could be a chance to really make his name here. Runner goes. Well in time. Nice play by Ibarra. Veilleux just really didn't get the lead off there, and I got to question that when you got Lefebvre. That just speaks to me kind of a lack of faith in your man in the 9-hole.
Well, he had a really conservative lead off, didn't get a great jump, and you're up against one of the better throwers. And you just, Junior Ibarra's staring at him as he's running off the field like, where are you going, son?
Yeah.
You know, so that was, I tell you what.
Yeah, that was either
It actually reminds me of something that happened when I coached with Kitchener. I was the third base coach as well, and had a similar situation. We were down 2 runs with a runner on first with a good base runner. I believe it was Jet Jarvis, who no longer plays for the team.
That one in for a strike. 2-2 here to Lefebvre, who now has no base runner in front of him.
And I was just trying to get away from the double play because we had the top of the order coming up on the next hitter. And so I sent him, and he got thrown out by about 8 feet. And, and I could just, manager Billy Matish just boring holes through my chest from the third base dugout out to third base. I was pretty much ready to not even go back into the dugout, to be honest with you. I was going to leave through the parking lot. You just feel, in a situation there where you're down 3.
Big swing and a miss. Lucas Lefebvre gets the honorary tag from Ibarra to end the bottom of the 8th. Will send us into our final inning of action here in Brantford. As the Brantford Red Sox have got a couple hits, they've been on the board a couple times, been on base with walks, but really haven't showed much offensive momentum. And neither of the Kitchener Panthers, to be fair, only that one inning of offensive work from them. But they're up 3-0 as we head into our final inning of work, and Colby Klepper will make the walk back to the mound. He'll come in for his second inning, and one that, if this team wants to have any hope of bringing this one back for a feel-good win in the ninth, he will need to be almost spotless in the final inning.
And you could just see over at the Brantford bench there, the third base coach coming back, kind of colloquially speaking, with his hat in his hand, and Tyler Soucy's having a few words with him, so they're trying to figure out what went on there for that play. Like I said, when you're down 3, a stolen base really doesn't gain you a whole lot.
No.
Even though it's the 9-hitter. If you can get the 9-hitter on, you get the top of the order, who's now the tying run. That's just, like I say, you just feel like kind of a schmuck when you're 3 runs down and you get a guy thrown out at second base trying to steal. So anyways, the good news is we're into the 9th inning and the top of the order will be coming up for Brantford. And so if Klepper can throw as well in this inning as he did in the 8th inning, then, he can get in and maintain this 3-run lead. Junior Ibarra, I believe, will be the first one up this inning.
Well, just got final word there from London that Labatt Park's game that started at 1 o'clock has just come to an end. The Toronto Maple Leafs will take the loss there. The London Majors get the home win 6-3 in a game that will send the London Majors further up the standings. They're going to jump into sole possession of the second place, at least for the day. Although the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, who were tied with them 12-5 record prior to today, they're beating the Guelph Royals 4-2 in that game in Chatham-Kent. Then the Barrie Bay Cats on the road, bottom of the 7th. They're up 6-2 against the hosts of the upcoming All-Star game, the Hamilton Cardinals. And then this game here with the Kitchener Panthers. So currently 2 home teams either have won or are winning. 2 road teams have the exception in those ones. And you're absolutely right. Here's Junior Ibarra up for the 4th time today. Ground double play, ground out, pop up his day. So this is Klepper back for his second inning. In for strike 1. Not sure what Ibarra was.
I don't think he's fooling anybody. No, I don't think anybody thinks he's going to bunt. But
I mean, you know him better than anybody, Brian. Maybe you're speaking off personal.
Well, he's a smart guy. He'll if he can get that third baseman to come in 2 steps to help him shoot one past him just like that, then that's it. That's a Junior Ibarra thing where I'm just going to fake a bunt and see if I can get the third baseman to come in 2 steps to protect it, and then yank one down the line and slap it past him. But I having said that, I know I wouldn't want my third baseman biting on that little bait.
Chop foul ball is going to wake up the Brantford bullpen as that's 0-2. Ibarra straight at Lefebvre. Gets it to first base. He'll record the out. Starts the top of the 9th off the way the Red Sox would have wanted. Ortega frames that one up at first base well.
Well, I got to say Lefebvre has looked real good at shortstop. I know that they, Schmarber was a really, really smooth, silky-handed fella, but they're not losing a whole lot with Lefebvre there, and they're gaining about 100 points in batting average. So in the end, you kind of have to agree with the decision that they made.
First pitch from Klepper now against Charlie Towers. He flew out, then had a sac fly that was an RBI earlier. And then the 6th inning, some ground outs, and overall a reasonably decent day for him, but he's looked pretty impenetrable on defense at second base, which, if I remember correctly, a few weeks back was one of those concerns in that big blowout loss here at Arnold Anderson for Towers. Down 0-1 against Klepper. That one's wide for ball 1, evens the count.
Well, that first strike was probably as far out as Chris Long has gone on the outside pitch all day long. Towers definitely made his opinion known.
Pitcher warming up there in the bullpen for Brantford as that one goes by, much to the chagrin of Charlie Towers.
Yeah, that's not going to help his mood at all, is it?
A lot more vocalization to the umpire today than we're used to seeing here at Arnold Anderson. The 1-2, Klepper. That one will just get off the bat of Towers, who sends it right at the Brantford managerial staff.
That ball was definitely outside, but he's protecting, as you should do with 2 strikes. You got to protect against anything close to the plate. So wouldn't be a horrible idea to throw a breaking ball in on him here, because you got him out leaning out over the plate, throwing inside breaking ball, and he won't be able to put it in play.
So the 1-2 now. Klepper to Towers. Low and in the dirt for ball 2.
Great idea, but he spiked it.
Arm warming up in the bullpen. Can't quite get an ID. It's one of our lower release point relievers. So we'll see if we need their services. Should Klepper get us out of the inning unscathed. Behind Towers is going to be Yosuke Fuji. Here's the 2-2. That one going to be chopped right towards Ortega. Coming over is Klepper. Won't need him. Ortega will step on the bag for out number 2.
Yep, good execution there, bringing that pitch inside when you got him leaning out over the plate like that. Soft contact to the first baseman. Easy play for Ortega.
I want to take a quick moment here before we see our third batter of the inning, Yosuke Fuji. I want to take a moment to thank our awesome crew here at the IBL Brantford Red Sox YouTube channel. Whether you watch us on cable or YouTube, the crew that puts us on all together is awesome. They're out here every Sunday, warm, or as it often has been for these home games, very cold and very rainy. So as Fuji misses on the swing there for strike 1, I want to thank my director, Brandon. I want to thank you as always, Brian. And we want to thank Ryan and the rest of our awesome crew, our awesome cameras. And we've got a full technical staff of cameras today, so we thank them for coming out and doing the awesome job they always do here on their Sunday. As that one's sent right towards Lefebvre, has another chance at a good defensive play. And he'll make it to end the top of the 9th inning. You just spoke Lefebvre's praises, and he proved you right once again. These look solid.
And I have to agree with you on the crew. It's been, for anyone who's watching us on a regular basis, you can see the improvements week over week, the extra cameras, the extra graphics. They're just doing a fantastic job. This crew, a pleasure to work with, as it is to work with you, Marshall. And this has been a lot of fun for me over the last few weeks, and looking forward to heading into the second half of the season. Now, if we got a comeback in us, we'll see how that works. We got the top of the order coming up, if memory serves.
Yes, indeed. Going to be Paulos, Takioka, Savage in the bottom of the 9th inning. Garcia will make his way back on the mound for the Panthers. And I think the only concern here, if you're a Panthers fan, is Garcia. He's had actual balance issues. When he loses a pitch, he really loses his footing, and it'll go wide off the plate. Had a couple, late counts for hitters that could have turned into walks. He's got to keep guys off base here in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, and I can't help but think that Ortega might have a really huge at-bat in this inning. He's up 4th in this inning. If either one of those guys, Paulus has been really quiet tonight. So, we'd like to see him get started. You usually don't see Paulus go more than 4 or 5 at-bats without getting a hit with that batting average and that swing of his. So, I really look for trouble this inning if Paulus can lead off and put a little pressure on the defense.
I'm a big believer, and I say it a lot on these broadcasts, but the water always finds its level. Like you're saying, guys that are hitting almost 400 will, in those big moments when they've had weak games, that really goes to their head. They really take it personally, and they try to get themselves to make an impact there late in games. And I think the big thing here, if you're the Brantford Red Sox, is we talked about it before. They've been on the wrong side, even in the last couple of games. Some really heartbreaking late comebacks by other teams, often better teams. Looking back at the last 5 for Brantford, they had that on June 21st, 7-5 loss in Guelph, where Brantford was up in the late innings, and that one got away from them. Did the same a couple nights, actually one night later against London. That 7-6 loss, they were leading late. They've been on the wrong side of a lot of these, Brian. A lot of these late game comebacks, especially in the 9th inning, would be great to see water find its level and have them get one for a change.
Yeah, and that game in London, that was one of the games of the year. They were down, and then Schmarber, who we've talked about who wasn't hitting, hits that huge 2-run homer in the 8th inning to give them the lead, and then Mejia couldn't hold it in the 9th.
That one wide off the plate for ball 1.
So one thing that I might be telling these guys, I think we want to take a strike here, and what I mean by that is we don't want to swing until the pitcher throws a strike because we need 2 base runners.
Yeah. Burden of proof is on Garcia right now, I think, after having some issues with location that last inning. 2-0, a bit of a trouble with the scoreboard here live at Arnold Anderson, but it is a 2-0 count. Here to Paulos. Takes that one for strike 1, now 2-1 from Garcia.
But even now, you're going to be real fussy about your pitches. You got to still like a dinner plate size strike zone, otherwise you're going to take.
Paulos sends that one off right to Mondelez. He narrowly makes a incorrect play defensively, and he won't do so there. Remains perfect on defense through the day, does Mondelez.
No, we don't expect him to do anything out of the ordinary, I wouldn't think.
At a certain point, I know you can only do so much with your hitting approach, but at a certain point, I think I go up to the plate just trying to avoid that part of the field in general. Whether I'm a righty or a lefty, try to send them at towers.
Yeah, as I said earlier, Mandalay is where hits go to die. So, you know, line drives are what you need at this point.
Player to watch for today for the Brantford Red Sox, Renee Takioka. One of the best at getting on base. He'll try the bunt here. Goes foul. But Ibarra was ready, and so was Yosuke Fuji.
That's a shame. That was a good bunt. If he keeps that fair, he's out. He's on easy.
Make the long walk back. Cassidy Watts there, ready for him with his bat there. Nice show of support from the Brantford back catch.
You don't see that too often. He's not even the guy on deck. He just popped off the bench and ran and got the bat and the mask for Ibarra.
All right, Takioka down 0-1 against Garcia. That one sent right past the pitcher. Into the gap in center field. It'll be a stand-up double for Renee Takioka. And talk about water finding its level. Guys having slow starts to the day. We expect to get a hit. It was a double in the 7th. It's a single in the 9th for Renee Takioka. There's Andrew Savage. Now got a runner in front of him on first. His swing can't be the one to tie the ball game, but he's been big in some situations before. Now his 25th at-bat on the young season. He's got 3 RBIs in that small sample size.
Having said that, if he can get on, a little bit of prophecy involved with Ortega.
That one low and wide. Garcia still can't find that bottom corner on these righties. Ball 1.
And again, you're taking a strike here, I think.
Takioka, we'll see if he goes for any leadoff after that earlier Veyu base running error. Here's the 1-0 to Savage. Takioka goes. Ibarra can't get the glove on it. A bad time to misplay the baseball as Takioka puts himself in scoring position manually. 1-1 now the count.
Well, the good news there is you've eliminated the possibility of a double play here, so you're going to get Ortega to the plate. Now they just need one more base runner so they can get the tying run to the plate.
On deck is Christian Ortega, and I mean, Brian, you might have the reverse commentator's jinx going here. You were alluding to potentially a big AB here for Christian Ortega, and he's going to have the opportunity, whether or not Andrew Savage gets on base, but even more so if he's able to get on with Takioka.
Yeah, this is such a big at bat here.
The 1-1 from Garcia. Big swing and a miss there from Savage. That's a crucial time to get some movement on a baseball by Garcia after that mound visit with Ibarra.
Yeah, nice breaking pitch there. He got good depth to it.
1-2. Huge moment here for Andrew Savage. Possibly his biggest as a Red Sox.
Another guy choking up with 2 strikes. Just don't see that much anymore.
The 1-2. That one sent over the head of the shortstop. Can it get down in front of the center fielder? It does!
Oh, nice.
It's down for Savage. Takioka will get the stop sign at third. And one of the greatest prophecies of all time, potentially, as Brian Howley calls a big at-bat for Ortega. First guy to see runners on the corners today is number 1. And a power threat is exactly the kind of guy you want in this spot. Team leading 14 RBIs on the season. And he says a quick prayer. He'll dust off the bag, and Christian Ortega's potential biggest at-bat as a Red Sox coming up next.
Okay, so I'm also going to change my philosophy here. I don't want him taking a strike. I want him having a pitch and a location, and if he gets it, hack it. That's really all I care about at this point. And at the very least, if he can get on base, you've got the tying run on base, and hopefully they got another runner ready to replace Ortega.
If he homers here, Brian, I want this week's lottery numbers. Just throw a guess out, because this is.
If he homers here, I want a raise.
A raise? Maybe play of the week. IBL put this clip in. Oh boy, the Jeopardy music's become playing. They're gonna make Ortega really stay hot, stay warm. The entire bullpen's come out along the fence out there in the outfield. We got some of the kids here visiting from one of the traveling teams, our guest today at the Arnold Anderson Stadium. They're out there watching on the fence. Everybody waiting with bated breath. They've waited through a hot day. And with one swing of the bat, Christian Ortega could bring what has been a hopeless game for the Brantford offense level at 3-3.
Yeah, you're looking for something up and out over the plate so you can get it in the air.
That one low and in the dirt. Gets ahead 1-0.
In fact, having watched the at-bats that he had against McNeil, I'll bet he's sitting on a curveball looking for something that might hang. Anything that starts elevated on a breaking ball, he is going to come out of his shoes at it.
Runners on the corner. Shouldn't see movement. They'll take time, step off.
Got a ball in play from the bullpen.
So, seeing how we're playing here, guys. Couple steps back off the bags. Do have somebody watching first. Takioka had a little bit of movement. Both base runners did. Kind of a fun moment there as they'll foul that one off for 1-1.
Yeah, the only thing we really want to avoid here, I think, is a ground ball to short because that's probably going to be a double play. So,
yeah,
like I said, you're looking for something up that you can get into the air.
Whatever you do, don't pull towards Mondelez has been the lesson learned today. That one popped up out towards that the grave we've made for that Grand Caravan out in right field that took a ball through the windshield earlier on. That's now 1-2 with an out for Ortega. Runners on the corners. We've seen movement. They are eager, the base runners here, to get going on this one. Especially, you got to think Savage out there on first. Try to get the extra bag if he can. Here's the 1-2 from Garcia. That one hit pretty well by Ortega, but should come down to the center fielder. Should expect a tag up here. There goes Takioka. Strolls over. Watt takes the bat out of the way, and they're on the board as the Brantford Red Sox at least won't go scoreless today. 3-1 now your score here, as still Torreson can still tie this one as Savage will remain on first.
Just missed it. Just missed it. Got it up a little bit too high. Got a pitch he could drive and just got under it a little bit.
So here's Matty Torreson, and I talked about there are guys with the box scores, with the ledgers looking more favorable as far as what they do in big moments. But those that have watched the Brantford Red Sox will remember that big home run from Father's Day. Matt Torreson, not a bad guy to have in this scenario. Now one runner on first. Good pitch there. Comes into the zone for strike one. Didn't look like Torreson was potentially timing up off speed on that first pitch. See what he expects on pitch number 2. That one in as well. Strike 2, and the fans here live in Brantford taking exception on that one. This could be the final pitch of the game.
Yeah, they thought that was up.
No favorites here for Torreson. He's had a couple close ones go against him. Can his luck reverse here? 0-2 could be the ball game. Does he go around? They'll appeal. No swings as the first base umpire. He'll stay alive. 1-2.
That was a tough take there. That one was just outside. Hard, and then he was probably sitting breaking ball. When you've got 2 strikes on you like this, you've got to sit fastball and then react to something off speed. That's really all you can do.
Let's see what Torreson's got here. 1-2. No, Chris Long says, I believe, just high. 2-2-2 reads the scoreboard. Torreson staying alive.
At this point, it's all about the space between your ears. You just got to battle, see ball, hit ball.
These are where the best make their mark. Savage, not a huge leadoff on first. He's going to put his trust in Torreson. Fouled off, keeps this one alive. Torreson's keeping the fans on the edge of their seats a little bit longer. Ballboy comes out to play it.
Yeah,
Savage
good
will
spoil
reset.
there. It was a hard pitch up over the plate.
Canada Day jerseys. Will we see some early Canada Day magic here? 2-2-2 to Torreson. Chops that one. Foul. Keeps it alive. And at a certain point, just letting yourself get more and more familiar with the new reliever Garcia. The more you draw this one out, could go the way of the batter.
Yeah, really good spoil there. Like I said, you have to sit fastball so it doesn't get past you, and then you have to react to the curveball, which is exactly what he did there. Good at bat.
Let's see if Torreson can time it up. Garcia will deal. Inside on the batter. Chop, swing. Can he make the easy play to end the game? He will. the Kitchener Panthers. They allow one late. They won't hold them out for the scoreless game, the no-hitter that was close for McNeil, or the perfect game that went through till the fourth, but they do get the big win here in Brantford as the road team is now 3-1 in this head-to-head matchup in this early part of the season, and Kitchener picks up their 7th win against just the team they don't want to go down in the head-to-head against. The Brantford Red Sox will go down in this one. Final score is going to be 3-1, by the way, the Kitchener Panthers. They had the one error on the day. Brantford will avoid the defensive errors for this one, but Jordan Mondelez and that entire team defensively was just so steadfast in the infield. They had that big inning that I think this team is, that being Brantford, is going to look back and regret. I think that third inning where a weird walk, error, guys get on base, a couple base running errors, and just like that, you've allowed 3 runs to that hard-hit ball. I think looking back on this one with the 3-1 loss, Brian, that's what the Red Sox are going to lose sleep over.
Well, I've said many times to many different levels, the team, when evenly matched, the team that plays the better defense generally wins the game, and that's what we saw tonight. The one play there at second base with Bateman that bad hopped him when he let it eat him up a little bit, you know, that made a huge difference. The option to have the shortstop cover second on the stolen base with a right-handed hitter up, those little tiny things, those cost them 2 runs, and that was the difference in the ball game. So like I say, at the end of the day, it's the same team. You have to tip your cap to both starting pitchers. What a great ball game. And let's face it, it was about a 2-hour and 20-minute ball game. So that, you know, that's fantastic. You know, Owen McNeil was fantastic. Connor Irvin was fantastic as well, really. I'm not even sure. There may be 3 earned runs. There may only be 2. I'm not sure exactly how the official scorer would do that. But like I say, it was a really good ball game. It's just that one half inning. That was the only inning that they scored runs in, too. You know what I mean? So that's what you do to win ball games. It's those little things that you get the advantage in. So at the end of the day, a really good ball game. And that's what should, you know, you always try and take positives away from every game that you can. You got a great start. Other than that one inning, they played really solid defense, and then they really battled late and, you know, put the fear into them that they were going to tie it up.
Yeah, I think the game ball's either got to go to Jordan Mondelez or the gentleman who almost had a no-hitter today, Owen McNeil, who will get the W in his ledger, in his box score for today. The L is going to go to Connor Irvin, who plays one of the better full 7-inning losses you'll ever see here in the IBL. He looked pretty good today. Again, I think his season will kind of work its way back. I know he's had a couple unfortunate efforts against some good offensive performances lately, but we may see him in the All-Star game in a couple weeks. Remember, voting for that is going to close very soon, I believe a week from tomorrow, a week from Monday. So be sure to go get your votes out there for either your Brantford Red Sox, any of your favorite players, or any of the best the IBL has to offer. That one's going to wrap us up for this this week. Coming up, we got Canada Day on Tuesday on the road at Chatham-Kent. Remember, we're back in a week, and that one's going to be on Rogers TV. So both the July 6th and July 13th games, don't forget, those are not going to be on YouTube. Those are going to be broadcast live on cable, both by Rogers Television. Details for that will go out on social media. You'll find out where to watch that, where to catch it on your local channel. I don't know yet about the YouTube details for that one, but those of you that are our loyal YouTube streaming audience should still have a place to watch the Brantford Red Sox take on the Welland Jackfish. Remember, that one is next week, Sunday, July the 6th, 2 o'clock, exact same start time in that game of baseball. For my entire crew, I want to thank them one more time. Brian, I'll throw it back to you one more time. Big day for you. Congratulations again on the birth of your granddaughter. I hope you get to see her sometime either on or before Canada Day. You got a big week ahead till the Jackfish.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, just overjoyed, over the moon, as they say. That grandbaby number 3, you could just keep them coming, as far as I'm concerned. And both of my, just one quick story that I used to run my kids around. They were both athletes, and I ran them all around, literally from Ottawa to, you know, to Windsor to North Bay. And they always thanked me for the ride, but I always told them, even when they were teenagers, you don't need to thank me. You just owe me one grandbaby each. And so my older one, Jimmy, has paid up in full this afternoon. And thanks again to his wife, Katie. And so, yeah, each kid has delivered a grandbaby, and my young one has actually given me 3 daughters now. It's Lila and Lily and Jade. And, yeah, I'm just the happiest person on the planet right now. And I'll get to see them tomorrow morning. And then I've got a busy week ahead for my own team. We got 4 games this week, but I'll make sure that I can get up here on Friday and do that game with you.
I can't wait, Brian. Thank you as always for coming in. Congratulations to Jimmy, Katie, the entire Howley family on their big news today. Thank you to my entire crew. Thank you to my girlfriend for sticking through this one and what is a very, very hot day here at Arnold Anderson. We'll see what the weather's like a week from now in Welland. Kitchener fans out there, your next game at home is going to be against our the same team we're playing, Chatham-Kent. We play them on Tuesday. You play them at home on Thursday, 7:30 start time in that one, and then another home game for those Kitchener away fans out there on Sunday, July 6th. That one will be against Toronto. On behalf of my entire team, again, Brian Hawley, my director, Brandon, Ryan, my entire crew here behind the scenes, I'm Marshall Crocker. It's been another great day of baseball here for the Brantford Red Sox. Now 4-16, the Kitchener Panthers move away 7-13. We'll see you very soon in a week's time here for Brantford Red Sox baseball. Enjoy your Canada Day. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy the nice weather, and we'll see you soon.